last left our group, you had discovered an island in the middle of Lake Pontchartrain.
Yes,
And
I'm
I'm
not
not
going
feeling
to
so
lie.
hot.
Things got a little hazy for me.
Right. You're getting sleepy.
Yeah.
Jody had opened her wizard sight and had discovered that there was some weird anomaly south of you because Captain Ron couldn't seem to put the boat in where he wanted to put the boat.
It could have been because he'd been drinking heavily.
No, it was that he was sure he had it in the right spot. You guys had dove into Lake Pontchartrain. It was just not working right. And so you had dispelled the veil that was covering the island and was also making people move away from it. But it had required you to tap into a couple of the ley lines that were converging there. One of them was a ley line that was of life, energy, kind of things like that. And the other one was a ley line of fear, which had caused your heart to race just a bit. But when the veil was destroyed, and I think we were close to where the sun was setting, you realized there was an island there with trees and what looked like a decrepit, very much mansion that you're not sure how old it was. But it was an island, and there was actually a small dock that stuck out into the water as well. And so that's where we were at the last.
Did you say that it was like an antebellum style?
Very antebellum looking. Probably maybe even a little older than antebellum because you're not sure.
Is it like plantation style houses?
Yes. So you're kind of wondering what you've just uncovered. Bum, bum, bum. And it is at the location with the 3 ley lines.
Were there any side
just, like,
effects or anything
like
tainted ley line?
That's a really good
Do
question.
I feel weird?
You feel weird, yes. You're not sure what is going on.
How do I feel?
You feel fine.
You feel excited.
Yeah. Excited, yeah.
Just like,
I will say this much: when we were
completely
flying out of
slapped
New
on.
Orleans to go to Scotland, and as we were flying over the city, I was like, "Jody, look, see that road right there? Yeah, it's a ley line right there. That's the ones I was seeing." And I was looking at the way the roads, and that's look out there,
See,
Pontchartrain, where you guys are.
That's
It was
great.
fun. Yeah. Anyway, so I digress. It's probably, the sun is probably maybe a couple inches above the horizon. It's maybe around 5 o'clock or so. It's getting dark, but you can definitely still see. What do you want to do?
Are there any lights like on in the mansion?
No,
or on the dock?
absolutely
anything?
dark. Dark.
Absolutely dark.
Absolutely dark.
So
We're
dark,
in the
no.
south, no.
It's very dark.
It's very dark. Yeah. No, there's no lights at all. Now you can still see that there seems to be kind of a clearing around the mansion for the most part. The trees are, kind of the old swamp oaks, maybe some of them are cypress and things like that. Other than that, there does seem to be a small building down by the dock. But it is, again, pretty decrepit. Looks like it's kind of fallen into disrepair.
No, we haven't moved the boat anywhere near it, right? So we could probably move the boat
Are
closer.
you done being full Galadriel on the front of the boat right now?
She's settled back to the boat again. She did at one point
again.
throw her arms out to the side and float into the
She
air
was
about a
levitating.
foot or two, and then
And
she
Bugs was
settled
like,
back down.
"What, Rob?
Yeah, right? Yeah, she was harnessing some pretty serious, significant power.
So do I feel nauseous or just not right?
You just don't feel right.
Okay.
There's something really bothering you. Yeah. You're not sure what it is, but you just don't feel right.
All right, I'm
Okay.
gonna
She's not right.
go check on Della and be like, "Are you okay after that?"
I don't know. I feel strange, but
Yeah, it's
I
just.
don't know. We'll
From
see.
like
Maybe just need some
extending a lot
Tums.
of power, or
No, the 3rd ley line I touched.
Second.
Are you sure?
Second.
Okay. The 2nd ley line I thought it was 3. The 2nd ley line I
The
touched
32nd ley line.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
32nd.
was I think it was tainted with something, but I don't know what. I don't know how it's affected me, but
so
it's just different. Yeah.
that's not. That's
So-
definitely going on the to-do list.
Mm-hmm.
Are we? Is
What are we
is the
eating?
captain sober enough to pilot this?
Captain
or should
Ron's
we
actually pretty
pilot it?
solid, really. He
Really?
goes, "Whoa,
Drink.
there's an island out there.
We were drinking.
Wow."
So there's like, business is slow. I come out here and just...
So he
All right.
goes and gets inside, the helm, and he starts up the motor.
Are we taking Captain Ron out there?
I mean,
Yes, we're taking him. Okay.
Well, I mean, he's got to move the boat, and so he, turns the wheel, heads towards the dock. And his it's an old, remember, shrimp boat. It's probably about 35, 40 feet long. No nets on
I
it
could
anymore.
strangle him, yeah.
But don't do that. Captain Ron's a nice guy.
No, just a sleeper hold.
Yeah.
I very
wouldn't-
much
I wouldn't
missed
let-
whatever the beginning of that. I was, he's got to move it on. He's moved it to like 30, 40 feet long. I can choke him. I mean,
She
I
asked,
can strangle him. That's-
Sure.
she asked, do you have some kind of hold to pass him out? I was like, yeah, I can.
Yeah. So he's heading towards the dock. It takes you maybe 5 minutes to get to this dock. And there's one point as you're going through the water, there's this kind of weird chilly sensation that rolls over you. Maybe where the veil was, and you're kind of passing through. I mean, you shut it down, maybe not permanently, but at least for a little while. He pulls the boat up to the dock and says, "Hey, somebody hop onto the dock and tie us off real quick."
I'll do it. You got it.
You got it.
They
You don't
both
have
jump
to-
at the same time.
I'll do it. Wait, you got it. You do it.
Okay, athletics check real quick.
I imagine it went exactly like that.
Exactly, yeah.
I was like I got.
Oh, no.
Oh.
I have a +3, so that's a 1.
Oh, you're fine. Okay, so you hop off of the boat onto the dock, kind of stumble around a bit, and then he cuts the engine, maybe reverses them a second. You grab one of the lines that's hanging off and tie it off on one of the little boat cleats that's there. You run to the back of the boat, do the same thing, and he shuts the engine down and then kind of throws this gangplank off so that it hits the dock. And he says, "Land ho!"
Imagine that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So he looks at all of you and says, "Was this what you're looking for?"
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Well,
He kind of looks at you and says, okay.
Well, we were looking for something.
For artifacts from the
This-
antebellum days.
This could be it.
Old museum pieces.
Okay. Well, look, so does anybody live here or do you know?
Nope.
I guess we'll find out.
Why don't you stay on the boat and we'll get out and go see.
That sounds like a great idea. I'm going to stay on the boat and pull the gangplank up. And if something happens, you guys let me know. I'll put the
We'll
gangplank
find
down.
our own way home.
Well, no. I'll stay here and wait for you. I just, if there's anybody here, I don't want them getting on the boat. And you do notice he comes walking out of the area where he's driving the boat. He's got, looks like maybe a 357
Yeah.
pistol or something like that. And he's got a flare gun. And he goes, so I can, he tosses the flare gun to you and says, look, if there's any kind of problem, you shoot a flare off and I'll go for help. Otherwise, I'm going to stay here.
I'm gonna hand it back like, no, if you have a problem, you shoot this off and we'll come help.
He
Yes.
says, okay, I'll keep the flare gun. And yeah. He says,
And
"But
I'm
I'm
doing
gonna-"
these dum 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 like flex things. Yeah.
And he says, I'm going to keep the pistol and the flare gun, and I'll let you know if there's any problems. So hopefully we won't have any issues.
Some sort of light.
And so I guess you guys get off on the dock.
I
Yeah.
think we have our own flare gun.
Yeah, we
Probably
can.
do.
Yeah.
And he once you get off on the dock, he pulls the board up and says, look, I'll be here whenever you're ready to leave. Just let me know. The dock is very mossy and slippery and wet. Just kind of old wood that's been in the swamp for a long time slimy. It's
Feel like
Yeah.
rotting or anything?
no, which is weird. It's
Yeah.
not rotting, but it's just slippery. Like it's been here a long time, and just the general ooze has
Does
gotten
it-
onto it.
Look like it should have rotted.
Well, Lafitte was around in the 1700s. So you're talking about if this is Lafitte's island or his home or whatever, if it's been here since the 1700s, you're talking 300-year-old wood. So yeah, it should have maybe fallen apart. But The house you're seeing here looks a little more
Some sort of
1860s,
Oh.
maybe Civil War era. So still, couple hundred years, this dock's in remarkably good shape.
How
Yeah.
does the house look?
Um.
About the same, like pretty good shape for being that
No,
old?
no. The house looks in a lot worse shape.
Okay.
What you're noticing is that it looks like the roof has holes in it. The ivy and moss has really just kind of taken over. The grass on the grounds, which you can see, really tall. There's forest kind of around all the edge of the island except for a few breaks and clearings. You're thinking the center part of the island may be cleared, but it's kind of hard to tell until you walk out there.
I'd
So,
like
yeah.
to first check out that outhouse that was near the.
Okay, the little
dock.
house that's like that. Yeah.
That's okay.
Anybody else want to follow her, or what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I say we
I
go
figure
through.
we'll go
Just
through
stick
it.
together.
Yeah, that's
I
probably
think
good.
this is definitely
Alright.
not a split the party.
No
situation.
Scooby shenanigans?
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. You notice that there's woods right up next to where the dock is along the edge of the island. There's maybe a 10-foot wide section of kind of dirt and sand and maybe rocks that you can walk on, and then there's just trees. There's kind of a little break in the trees to the left and to the right, but for the most part, it's just trees. There does seem to be a path that leads between the trees going further onto the island, but the building you see kind of extends out over the water a little bit. You're thinking maybe a boathouse. This one again seems remarkably well preserved, kind of like the dock. So yeah,
So, is there any visible windows to look?
yeah.
in,
There's
or-
windows, there's a door, and it does extend about maybe 10 feet over the water. Yeah.
Um,
All right, let's.
You
I'm
wanna check it
gonna
out?
go up and see.
check for traps.
Yeah, we are. Well, you know.
Yeah.
Do I get any like weird vibes from it if I touch it? Like there might be wards or something on
Well, that
it.
would be a lore check. Okay.
Alright.
Or actually,
Right, like 10 foot
might be an alertness
pole
check.
Right.
You doing it magically or what?
I figured. Yeah, I mean, I would just.
Okay, you could do a kind of a non-rote spell to check it for magic. Do you want to
Okay.
try that?
Yeah.
It's probably a quick evocation. So, how much power are you going to put into it?
Evocation is
Mhm.
discipline, right? No.
Well, okay.
I write notes to myself. I just forgot.
Right. Gotcha. So when you're doing evocation, right, you're kind of assessing is basically what it is.
Yeah, I have air, water, and. I'll use a water since
You're
we're
probably
in the
well,
water.
okay. What you need to do is let's see.
I forgot. One of them is evocation. I just don't remember which one it is. If
So
that's
your
lore
conviction
or
is what determines how much power you can put
an
into it.
evocation.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
What's your
so I have
conviction
a
at?
plus 4.
Okay, so you're gonna do 4. Well, okay, but it's also you're probably gonna use spirit magic for it. Do you have a focus that helps you with spirit magic?
Yeah, I have. It says air plus 1 power, and also
That's
says
not
water and spirit.
Okay,
No,
spirit.
It says
It
air,
says
water,
air, water,
and
and spirit on
spirit.
there.
So I don't know
Okay.
if all are plus
No.
1.
No.
Just the air one is.
Yeah.
But I do have water and spirit.
Okay. So no wait. Okay. So you're gonna put that in there. You're gonna put a strength of 4. So now you need to roll your discipline. Okay.
Okay.
What's your discipline at?
5.
Okay. You should be okay. Oh yeah, you're fine.
Two,
All right. So you
6.
basically walk up. You kind of put your hand out towards this building, kind of trying to feel the flow of spirit and energy across it. You don't really detect anything besides there seems to be kind of a. It seems like the entire building is encased in some kind of spell that just preserves it. Okay, you sense the same kind of spell on the dock, but it ends pretty much at the island.
Does this spell feel anything like the spell I was trying to remove to see the island?
Lore check. Definitely a lore check.
7?
Yes, definitely the same kind of magic. Okay, same kind of magic. And you get the distinct feeling that it is not wizardry like you're used to dealing with. You're used to, kind of the white wizardry, the
Right.
white council, that kind of stuff. There's a certain kind of feel to that kind of magic. This is something more primal.
Okay.
Maybe deeper. You're not sure. It's just not the same kind of feel that you're used to dealing with. You guys are
Is it
both
the
used to
same-
kind of dealing with magic in a certain kind of genre. Yours is musically based. It's based on air. Yours is a certain thing. This has just a different feel.
Is this feeling the same feeling I got from the ley line?
No, not at
No,
all.
okay.
Not at all. Ley lines are kind of a primal source of
Well, I'm in
energy.
the tainted one. Like maybe
No,
whatever
not
was
at
here
all.
had tainted that.
No,
Okay.
not at all. This is something that it feels like something has almost encapsulated this dock and this building to keep it from falling apart. Yeah.
Well, let's
But
open
it
the.
ends at the. Doesn't go inside there, right?
No,
The
just it
island.
stops at the edge of the island, pretty much.
All right,
Yeah.
I will crack open the door.
Okay. You open the door. Inside, there's wooden floors. There looks like an area with some little
And I'll put
pulleys
some
and
light in there.
Okay, you can do that. With pulleys and, you still got a little bit of light. The sun hasn't gone down completely yet. There's pulleys inside there that look like they could be hooked up to a boat, maybe a dinghy to pull it up inside. There's an area that extends out over the water so that, you could pull a boat up. You see some hand tools, maybe for woodworking. There's some pots that look like they contain some kind of liquid in them, but they're sealed up. It looks like a boathouse where you could work on boats or repair boats if you were going to do it, but they would be small. These boats would probably be 10, 12 feet long, maybe a dinghy or a rowboat or something like that. Certainly not Captain Ron's, 30-foot monster that he's got.
Is there a boat in there, or is it just tools?
There is not. No. Yeah.
Okay.
Some of
so-
the tools, in fact, look relatively new. Like they have, not like they've been there for 200 years, but there's no rust.
On there.
Yeah, well, yeah, like maybe they've been, if not recently used, at least have brought out recently. So somebody may have been coming out to this
Somebody
island.
frequents this
I was
place.
gonna say,
What it
so-
feels like.
The other thing you see on the opposite side of the trail is what looks like a slab of maybe concrete or stone that has chalk drawings and lines on it. You're not exactly
Human
sure.
nature or hopscotch?
That's a good question. Let me show you what they look like. Hold on.
No, the map is laminated. I have that on a lanyard around my neck.
Oh my god.
You see this drawing, except
Oh.
imagine it's in chalk, okay? And then
I don't move.
and then at the other
Imamu.
yeah, and so you see that on the concrete, but it's drawn in white, even though the concrete's kind of a dark gray color. Yeah,
Okay.
everybody see that? Yeah.
That is a very nautical looking.
Well, maybe some kind of steamboat too, because it looks like a
There's
chimney with some
chimneys,
smoke
yeah.
coming out of there or something.
The other thing you see scattered around kind of on this concrete is what looks like a chicken leg, about this much of the leg. And then you also see there's a couple empty bottles.
Some hoodoo stuff, maybe?
Maybe a
Possibly.
tracking spell?
I don't know.
Do I know anything about Imamu?
How about lore check?
Let's see what I
Where's
got
that
for
maybe?
lore.
Imamu.
Yeah, Mamu or
Imamu. Yeah.
Oh, that's a -1.
No, you don't remember anything about Imamu or anything like that. Anybody checking out the bottles or anything?
I have to look at the bottom.
Yeah, one of them is Bacardi rum bottle, which is
Ooh.
definitely
Yeah,
recent.
recent, yeah.
Yeah, and it's Bacardi white rum. And then there's another one that looks like it's a bottle of Brut champagne, just cheap champagne. And they're both empty. So, yeah. And it looks like they maybe be tipped over or something like that. Yeah.
Partying, maybe?
Could be.
How recent? Can I tap into Echo of the Beast and channel my inner lizard to smell like maybe if it's like recent or if it's old? or
Give me an
something?
investigation check.
Oh shit.
Would you rather use alertness?
Yes.
Let's use
that would
alertness.
be
Let's just
lot
probably a
better.
little more primal because you're using kind of your
Just my
animal
smell
skills.
and
Yeah, let's do
senses.
alertness. That's probably
Okay,
more
yeah,
appropriate.
that sounds a lot better.
Yeah.
That is a 4 total.
That is a really good roll.
These bottles, you notice that they're Bacardi, and they're not old Bacardi. They're reasonably new, probably in the last few years. You're not exactly sure how old.
Okay.
But one of the other things you tap into is that definitely humans have been on this island maybe in the last month or so. It's hard to tell exactly, but there's definitely been people on this island in the
Somewhat
last.
recently.
Yeah.
So somebody else found their way here somehow.
Mhm.
Yeah. Do we see like footprints or anything like that? Because it says
Yeah, you don't see any. If there were, they may have been washed away. It rains a lot in New Orleans, so yeah.
she said there's a path going.
Yeah, there's a little path that kind of winds between the trees. It's overcast and covered by the limbs, but it's clear. You can tell where it's going. It's going kind of north.
It's either a leftover stack or somebody was doing like voodoo something.
Yeah. I wonder if they drunkenly stumbled upon this somehow.
Maybe. Could be unrelated. You're right.
I mean, I was, drinking, and we didn't. She had to go.
That's what it is. You found it because drunken.
That's right.
Yeah. All veils are dispelled by alcohol.
That's right. You're welcome.
That's right.
Alright, well, maybe we should keep moving forward.
Okay. You start heading down the path towards what looks like the little mansion. You go maybe 100 feet, and the oaks branches kind of arch over, making this kind of arched way. Again, the sun is continuing to fall, so it's getting darker and darker and darker. You see a lot of Spanish moss, and as you clear the trees, you see that the center part of the island is basically cleared. There's no trees here, but the outer edges of the island are just, with really thick old growth.
Does it look like it's
You see a lot of smaller buildings off to the right, and then what looks like maybe, a fenced-in area. And then to the left, there looks like what used to be some plowed fields. You think you see what looks like maybe sugar cane that's kind of been allowed to just grow wild. And it's kind of taken over. And then there's also some buildings there. And then in front of you is the big kind of antebellum mansion with, basically the trees behind it.
How close to the boat are we?
150 feet, maybe 120 feet. Yeah, it's not far.
Okay. When we get out of what I would think would be a good sight line for Ron to see us, I want to go ahead and change to the.
Yeah, he can't see you anymore.
I
You've
want my
gone
wings and claws out, just in case.
Yeah, he's definitely can't see you because you kind of moved off into the trees, so you can drag it out if you want. Yeah.
Now that we're in the inner area, does this area look manicured or kept up in any kind of way?
Not at all. The grass is overgrown. There's lots of little scrub brush. Again, like I said, there's a bunch of little houses that kind of stretch off to the east or kind of to the right side of the road and to the left side of the road. And the left side of the road is where you see the tilled area that looks like it's had sugar cane, and then the fenced-in area to the right. So yeah. Mm-hmm. There's also right as you clear it, there's what looks like a very dilapidated barn in this area too. There's kind of a fenced-in area. There's a barn, but again, the roof is collapsed. You can kind of see that there's nothing in it because again, the roof is kind of sagging in. A lot of the walls have fallen in. This area seems like it's definitely felt the passage of time.
Mm-hmm.
So we're thinking main house or outbuildings.
Well, we haven't seen any other people out here.
Yeah.
So I'd say let's cut to the main house.
Yeah.
Because we don't want the sun to go down and us be stuck out here all night.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
Or at least that was my thought.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Sounds good.
I'll lead the path to the
So
main
are
house.
you heading straight to the main house?
I think we're going to the main house.
Okay. You can see that there's an area kind of worn down between the basically the right side and the left side of the island that is a little bit trampled down. Maybe it was the main road to the house at some time in the past, and it's kind of been kept trampled down somewhat. It's probably about maybe a couple 100 feet to reach the main house. You walk down. Nothing untoward seems to be happening. It's pretty quiet. You get to the mansion. It's got, the stairs leading up onto the big front porch and the typical columns. Looks like it's maybe 2 stories. Got a very sloped roof to make sure the rain runs off. There's windows. As you look in the windows, again, the sun's sinking, so it's getting harder and harder to see, but you can tell that there's not a whole lot of the roof that's left. And you think you maybe even detect maybe some small trees that have grown up inside, but you're not real sure. Yeah, it looks pretty dilapidated.
Are there any doors that are intact or?
The front door is intact. It is a little bit open, and there's kind of stuff at the bottom, looks like leaves and branches and twigs, but yeah.
Okay. We'll step up to the front door if the porch area is in any kind of good condition.
It's a little spongy and soft. You're gonna have to be careful so you don't
Okay.
step in the wrong spot. But you can kind of test in front of you and check it. So you're
Test.
carefully. Who's taking point on that?
I guess
I
I'll
mean,
Okay, you take point. You
This is
start.
my dumb idea.
Yeah, well, you
I
can
will
start.
grab the rear.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Woo. Okay.
Well, you know.
You start.
Hey.
Hey, whoa, hey! I'm a woman of God. What are you doing? Yeah.
Slip of the fingers.
So you start walking forward. You get to the door, and it's open about maybe a foot, and you wind up having to kind of pull it, and it's hard to move. You kind of drag it open. It looks like it's swollen open some, or the door is swollen some, so it's hard to move. And there's an entrance foyer. The stairs to the second floor look pretty rickety. The walls are covered in kind of mold and moss. There's a door going to the left and to the right, maybe into 2 other rooms. You can peer through them if you want. It's getting dark enough. You're gonna need some light pretty quick, whether it be flashlights or your
I
resident
imagine
wizard.
I
can
got one
call.
of those dorky headlamp things, you know?
You probably do, yeah. You gonna pull it out and put it on?
Yeah.
Okay. You pull out your headlamp and you put the light on. You're looking around. The rest of you can see that the hallway goes further back into the house, and there are doorways to the left and to the right. Looks like rooms. Maybe there's lots of leaves and debris and branches, and so you're not seeing a whole lot of excitement here. It seems pretty quiet. Jody, you with us still?
Yep.
Alright.
I am. Sorry.
Okay, your eyes were closed.
Oh, no, I was just thinking. Go ahead.
All right. Yeah.
Are
So-
we going stealthily about this, or do we want to shave and a haircut and let people know we're here?
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm for stealthy.
I
mean,
like
if,
stealth.
if it was
Mhm.
if it was covered over and it was a pretty, it was a really strong spell.
It was a pretty strong spell.
Yeah.
I'd rather kind of like check things
Yeah, I
out
got you.
sneakily.
Yeah.
What do you think?
All right. Need some stealth checks all around, please.
Stealth is. Oh, it's a
This is
skill I
stealth.
don't have.
Oh, well, then you
Okay.
just make a 0, basically. Well, that's even. That's a 0.
I'm gonna walk around with great rapport. Not really.
Mm.
I don't have any skill, and I got a -1.
You can do veils. I don't know why you're. Either one of you could do
That's
veils to
true.
make you guys invisible, so it's up to y'all.
Okay, I'll do a veil then. I wasn't thinking. What am I
Okay.
thinking?
I got a 1, so
Oh,
I'm feeling okay.
Well, do they need a veil?
okay. It's up to you.
Do they need a veil?
Remember, that's going to cost you some, stress points. You might want to save those for combat or otherwise. It's up to you.
Nah, I'll just walk.
I got a 0, so I think I'm sitting at
0.
on the luck of God.
You're at +1, and what's yours?
I'm at a -1. I'm
Oh,
tripping on stuff, making noise.
I'd like to tag an aspect.
What tag?
Can I just tag darkness to bonus?
So you're assuming that one of the aspects on this place is dark. Yeah, it is. It's not.
Okay, I would think so.
I'll let you do that. Yeah. Now it's going to cost you a point. Remember.
That is totally
yeah.
fine.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Now do I re-roll?
No, you can either re-roll or add a +2. Right.
That's what I'm.
Oh, okay. What'd you get
Because
originally?
I got 2 negatives, 1 plus and a nil.
Ugh, I might re-roll.
I think so because I could add a +2 and have a 4 total. But I
Yeah.
would like somehow get a potent success if I can.
You could.
Alright, we're gonna risk it all and get all ones.
Big bucks, no whammies.
Ah! It's the same exact.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
amazing.
I hate that.
All right, well that's a 2 stealth.
Well, that's not too bad. You actually have the highest of all of us. So yeah, you
Clomp,
start
clomp, clomp.
moving into there. Yeah, you get the feeling you're not being very stealthy, but you are being very careful, and so the floor is a bit spongy and soft in places, whether it be from termites or damp or rot. So you're a little nervous. So you're being careful.
We're in the house.
You are now in the house. You come off the porch into the foyer. Like I said, the stairs going up to the second floor look pretty rickety. There's a doorway to the left and to the right, and there's also the hallway goes further back. Which way are you taking them?
Well, I'm just gonna kind of assess to the right and left what can be seen through the doorways.
Again, one of the rooms on the bottom floor, the one to the right, has a hole in the floor. It looks like it drops down because it's a pier and beam construction is what it is, or something like that.
Yeah.
It may even drop down into a basement. You're not real sure, but there's a big hole in the floor. The one to the left looks like the floor is at least in reasonably good shape. There looks like some very tattered carpets on the floor. There's a fireplace, maybe some piles of rotten wood that was once furniture. So yeah.
Well, I'm gonna check that room, and specifically first I'm going to check the hearth because I know that a lot of people used to like carve symbols and hidden messages into their hearthstones and stuff. So I was gonna look for something like that first.
Yeah, you go over into that room. The fireplace, nah, you don't see anything carved in it. And actually, the floor here seems to be in pretty good shape. There are no other exits. Looks maybe like it was a sitting room, big, tall, windows. Yeah, there's some kind of tattered, looks like cloth, some tattered wood. Maybe couches and chairs. You're not sure. There are some bookshelves on the wall, and there's a few books that have fallen over. They look pretty moldy.
I was gonna say, is this stuff moldy? Is
Yeah, it's pretty moldy and nasty. I mean, again, pontchartrain, water, rain, roof is open. Yeah, this stuff is in pretty bad shape, and lots of leaves and just debris, animal droppings. You're like, yeah, stuff has been in here. Yeah.
Any interesting book titles if they're readable
You're
at
gonna
all?
reach over to get them. I mean, you're not even sure you can read the titles because they are so
That's what I was
moldy.
wondering.
I
Alright,
mean,
just
yeah,
fuzzy
it's just
and-
they're
No,
funky,
thank you. No, thank you.
funky. Yeah.
Is there an X anywhere?
No.
Yes. Good question.
No exits. You don't see any other exits, but again, remember there is a hallway that goes further back into the house and one to the right with the hole in
They're
the
all
floor.
in
Yeah.
Texas.
Let's go. That's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's the next stop.
Okay. All right. We'll just keep kind of sweeping, I guess, room by room.
So you head to the other side where the floors collapse. This looks like it might have been a dining room. There is kind of a collapsed chandelier over on one side of the room. It's all rusted. Maybe it was brass, but it's all bent and broken, and it's got lots of stuff on it. There's a door heading further into the house that you can take. This door is again slightly propped open by debris and leaves and stuff like that. Yeah.
Does the floor open up to the ground, or is it a basement?
No, it does go into the basement. You can see that there's a basement here. The basement looks partially flooded. You're not there. It goes down about 4 feet, and then there's water. Yeah, murky, nasty, dark
That is
water.
a poltergeist scene waiting to happen.
Yeah, you really don't want to get in there. Well, and it's pontchartrain water too, which is yuck. That's a good way to get dysentery and
I am in snorkeling gear.
Yeah, well, there you go. It's nasty water.
Does it look like there is a way to safely get to the door that's ajar on the other side of the room from
Possibly.
here?
That's by the flies.
Oh,
Is it big enough to fly in here?
No, you
Okay.
could probably leap across, throw your wings out, and kind of glide yourself across. Give me a quick athletics check.
All right.
Well, you have pretty good athletics, don't you?
Yes. I'll look that up in case if I need it. I'll just roll. Alright, so wow, that's a great roll. I get a 3.
That's fine.
Is that good enough?
Yeah. You kind of see the hole, you leap across, throw your wings out, kind of glide towards this door, and hit it with a shoulder. The door flings in, it kind of swings off one of the hinges. There's a short hallway that goes right and left of you, and there's a door in front of you, and it kind of leads out the back of the house. Yeah.
Okay. Anything interesting in?
Nah, it's just
Yeah,
a little,
just
a little
a
hallway to the
little
right and to the
exit
left.
just to
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
pretty much, and then the
connect
exit
the
out the
hallway.
back. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
There's 2 hallways and an exit to the back of the house.
right. Yeah,
nothing interesting?
no. You do see some stairs that are going up to the second floor, kind of at the end of one of the halls.
There's some stairs that go up to the second floor at the end of the hall.
They
Do
look in a
they-
little better
They
shape.
look.
They look better.
Oh, well, that might be our ticket to the second floor.
Mhm.
Do we want to sweep the rest of the first floor first, or is there any other rooms on the first floor?
Well,
that
there's
we're
still
not-
the area with the hallway that goes out of the foyer. So yeah, there is an area that goes back there. Yeah.
Okay, well, that'll be our backup plan because I
Okay.
don't think the main stairwell is how we're gonna go up. But
Yeah, probably not,
maybe
yeah.
let's finish the bottom floor before we.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So are you gonna check out the little hallway that's in here? Okay. Is that what I'm hearing, or are you gonna go to the foyer?
Oh, that was the hallway was in this room.
Well, there's a little hallway where he busted through the door. There was one side of the hallway went upstairs, and one side looks like it comes to a dead end. And then there was a doorway that goes out onto looks like a back porch.
Okay,
sure.
so aside from this room and this room
Mhm.
that we were looking at, and that hallway that goes upstairs,
Mhm.
are there any other rooms further down the hallway from the
Yeah,
foyer?
for the foyer, there's one further down. Yeah.
Okay, I do want to check that room out before we
You
possibly venture upstairs.
you start heading back out into the foyer, and you're kind of walking underneath a little landing with the stairs that would go there. And on the floor of the room of the hallway where you're walking, you see this carved into the floorboards. Okay, and then
Wow.
it's filled with white chalk
Slingers.
dust or something like that. That's what it is. And so it's got this weird symbol there. Yeah.
Does this look like the same, maybe
Type of-
craftsmanship as the other drawing
Give
outside?
me a lore check.
The same shade of chalk that you see in the other place.
That's good. That's
I
good.
know I've
5.
seen this shit talk before.
Yeah, you're
No,
you're
wait.
thinking
3.
that
Actually,
you're
sorry.
thinking that this is maybe some kind of voodoo tradition, maybe.
She told me.
Yeah,
You're not
Voodoo,
sure.
voodoo.
All right.
You're thinking maybe same kind of stuff. Yeah,
Right. Okay.
not really sure if it's by the same person, but definitely seems to be a voodoo tradition.
Someone or someone's is out here doing some casting of some kind.
Something.
Something's happening.
You gonna smudge the drawing, or are you gonna skirt around
I
it, or
don't know
Skirt
if
around.
touching.
skirt around?
I don't know
Yeah.
if breaking sigils or wards or I'm not gonna try to do that.
I think going around is best.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Right,
No
you guys
traps, please.
skirts the sigil in the floor and head a little further back. Again, you come into a room that looks like it's kind of off the back of the house. This seems to be maybe a dining room. There's a long table, but one of the ends has collapsed and it's kind of fallen to the ground. There's a couple collapsed chandeliers as well. So this looks like it maybe is the dining room, and it ties in to they're basically where the hallway that I said came to a dead end would come up against one of the walls, and
Gotcha.
you're kind of looking at it and you realize that there's actually, it's not a dead end, there's kind of a hidden door that maybe like the servants would
Servants'
bring
entrance or something?
food in
Oh,
to
okay.
this, because if memory serves, you probably wouldn't have had a kitchen inside the main house, because if it caught on fire, it would burn the house down.
Right.
So the kitchen would have been external. Jody, you awake?
Yep.
No, you're not. You're fading fast.
No, I'm awake.
Okay.
I'm awake. Sorry. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Losing her.
Yeah. Oh, if anybody needs to, just let me know because I'm awake.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody needs what?
Anybody needs it to call it or whatever.
Probably 2
No,
minutes
no,
higher
I'm
or whatever.
good. I'm good.
Give me a few more minutes in. Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Yeah. So anything going on with the servants' entrance?
No, it again goes to the little hallway and then out the door towards the back porch, which would definitely lead to maybe another building that was a kitchen
And
or something
anything
like
interesting in the dining room of note? Just okay.
that. You do
Anything
notice.
stealable.
Huh?
Yeah.
Anything stealable.
Any
That's all.
crystals
Yeah,
on
just
those?
You know,
Crystal
anything
cups.
with value.
There's a few crystals on the floor, maybe came from the chandelier.
Grab one of those.
You're not sure if they're worth anything. Who
Not
knows? Who
leaving
knows?
this island empty.
Exactly. I'm walking out.
Yeah, you don't see there's any plates or anything, or if there were, they've probably been broken or long ago. The floor seems a lot more solid. It's just that one particular front room where it seems that the floor is collapsed into the water.
Can I see? Can I still see the ley lines?
Wizard sight?
Oh.
Up to you.
I think I'll do wizard sight just to kind of see if that gives us more of a direction of what we should.
Give me a lore check.
I got
Even.
a 4.
Okay. When you open your wizard sight and look around, you notice that this entire building has a real sense of oldness. But the other thing about it is you don't see a lot of anger or hatred or anything like that. This actually seems like a pretty happy place, is the whole feeling you get from it.
Like,
There is, though, when you look at that sigil on the floor that I showed you that looked like this, there's a lot of power coming off of that sigil, and you notice that the ley lines seem to be feeding it. So this sigil is, whatever it is definitely active.
Is that the dead center convergence point?
You're not really sure. It's hard to tell. But you can see, magical energy washing off of this thing. So it's definitely still around.
So what?
Yeah.
What skill do you use to identify the parts of a sigil? I'm just not sure.
Lord check. Well, maybe. Let's see. If you're trying to identify what kind of magic it is, that could either be lore.
Maybe scholarship?
Yeah, probably scholarship is a better one.
Stuff I don't have.
But I have it.
You actually have
I'll
scholarship.
let you make a lore check if you're trying to identify
Well,
it,
if
or
he
scholarship.
has scholarship, could we not work together somehow?
You
I
can
mean,
either
lore
support
says
him.
arcane research.
Right.
That's
Well, this is
Mystic
kind of
perception.
arcane. Yeah. Are you going to support her in this? Maybe give her a whisper in her
definitely,
ear?
yeah.
Okay. Make another lore to see if you can identify. No, wait, hang on. Do you want to close your wizard sight? now.
There is their scholarship answers.
It might be safer to close it now than
Discipline
open
check.
it up
Discipline
to.
check, yeah. Ooh.
Hey.
That's not too bad.
So that's a 6.
Okay, yeah. You close your wizard sight. Take no stress or damage or anything like that. All right, so make me a lore check to kind of work with what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
You get a +1 from Trevor helping you. Or from Darwin helping you. What'd you get? Lore.
So that would be, it evens out?
Yeah.
So it's just a 5.
Okay.
I can tag an aspect though.
You think you remember in some of your studies of some of the books that you've been reading that this is maybe the sigil for one of the Loa called Papa Legba. He's kind of the guardian of the crossroads in current Christian, kind of mythology. He's Satan. Legba was the Satan, the demon you would meet at the crossroads. Excuse me. But in voodoo thought he was not really a demon. He was a spirit that you would, make a deal with. And he wasn't necessarily evil. He was just kind of tricksy. Yeah. There you go.
There it goes.
Well, I don't want to make any deals with him.
Yeah.
Oh, a crossroads demon. Ley lines convergence.
Makes sense.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So, do we want to dismantle the sigil?
Nope.
Bunk goes, I'm not
votes no.
touching that sigil. That sounds like a
We can
terrible idea.
explore the rest of the house first.
Maybe we can
We
do
have no
that
other
on
answers.
the way out, me and you,
Okay, yeah.
while they're
Nope.
safely out.
Darwin has a thought, I think.
Darwin has a thought.
Darwin?
No, I was going to
Oh,
say.
Darwin! There he is.
Yeah, there's a phone call. I'm down with exploring the rest of this place because the more knowledge we have can only help us.
Right.
But I'm not entirely sure that we should mess with something that we don't fully grasp that's being fed by ley lines.
We also found some other voodoo shit earlier on the beach. And some
Different sigil.
Different sigil.
like some drunk Bacardi and wine that people may have been here recently within the last few months or so.
And chocolate.
Yeah, chicken foot. Yeah.
But I'm wondering if it's the sigil that's causing the taint to the ley line.
Well, you checked it earlier, and he said it was a different kind
It
of
was
magic
old.
entirely.
True. Okay.
So you said there was that part where the place collapsed
Into the basement. Yeah.
into the basement.
Yeah. Nasty dark water. Icky.
That must be.
I mean, you can go down there, but it's just going to be gross. Punch train water seeping
like
into
to.
your basement.
I actually kind of would do.
Okay.
I'm already wet, so I might as well.
Okay.
All right. So you guys going to
Lot
head?
of fun.
Yeah.
You going to head to check it out?
All right, I'll go in.
All right. So you head back to this
Headlamp.
front room where the floor is collapsed. You can climb down in there. It's probably maybe 5 feet until you hit the water. You're not sure how deep the water is or anything like that, but you've got wings. You can kind of
It's
lower yourself and kind of
cold.
close. Yeah. You gonna drop in?
Yeah. I'll,
You- Your feet touch the water. Oh, dear Lord, it is cold. And it's a bit slimy. So you put your kind of feet in and you drop down a little further, and it's really cold and slimy, and it's dark. Now remember, she's got a headlamp that she's got on, so she's kind of watching you. You kind of come up to a little bit above your waist, this cold, nasty water, and then your feet hit the mud. And the mud, your feet sink about 6 inches into, and then they stop.
It's like that good swamp mud.
Yeah, it's a good swamp mud. That's what that is.
As a kid, I used to love that between my toes.
You kind of look around, and you
Feels so good.
yeah, sure, that's what it is. Or you get swamp rot, one of the two, on your feet, and but you look around. You notice that there is an area that there's like some stairs that kind of go up to the side. And at the top of the stairs are what looks like a pair of doors, maybe like a root cellar.
Yeah, that's
you see some rotted pieces of vegetable and stuff like that hanging from the ceiling. So this looks like where maybe the root cellar was, where they would store stuff.
Is there anything else special?
Few jars, some crockery on some really nasty collapsed shelves. Nah, it doesn't look like it.
So you have a few jars.
Yeah, like probably
like from
pickled peaches or
yucky stuff that's been there for a couple hundred years. You probably don't want to drink it or eat it.
Pure vinegar now?
Yeah, well, still pure something.
Paint thinner now?
Yeah, paint thinner now. That's
been
right.
There since the 1800s. The jars might be worth something on eBay.
Yeah. Can't argue with that.
I can imagine they come up and have like 12 jars.
I'll take a couple jars.
You can grab one. It's got some nasty looking floaty brown icky stuff in it.
I don't know if it was just the
I'm
internet.
gonna shake it like a snow globe and just watch the stuff swirl.
No, yeah. You just like you kind of shake it like a snow globe. It's gross. Yeah. But yeah, you can dump it out and wash it out. It might be worth something. Yeah, it looks like kind of some of those canning jars, those mason jars with little metal, lid kind of thing. So yeah. All right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess I'll probably crawl out after that.
They're sealed with wax, by the way. So you climb your way out with a couple. She asked you for a couple jars. I guess you probably bring them to her.
Yeah.
They got this nasty brown liquid and some chunky bits in them that you're kind of like yuck. But yeah, nothing really exciting. What do you want to do now?
I guess there's upstairs,
I guess
right?
upstairs is
Head towards the one stairwell that looks less than rickety.
the stable
okay.
one.
You head. It's a really narrow little hallway. You're a pretty big guy shoulder wise, and your shoulders are kind of rubbing on the hallway walls because it's maybe 2.5, 3 feet wide. Yeah, exactly. It's pretty narrow. You go up this little narrow stairwell, and it leads into a room where the roof is definitely collapsed. There's looks like some broken furniture that's kind of rotted in the corners. There's a fallen over, what looks like tipped over, maybe wardrobe. But it's got, again, the doors have fallen off. The back is rotted out. And so, again, this looks like maybe it's a large bedroom. We have, let's see, we have history. Scholarship would kind of give you an idea of what this might be.
Well, are all of us there?
Well, I figured all of you were.
Okay.
You said we were sticking together.
So when I came out of the water, okay.
Yeah, he headed up here.
I got a 1.
Okay.
I mean, I'm definitely not going into the water.
No,
but
going
upstairs.
Yeah. Sure.
I got
You got 2.
tree.
A tree, a 2. You doing scholarship?
Oh, there
There they are.
like,
Sneaky
like,
green
where are
dice.
they?
Yeah.
You hate to see that.
So 2.
All right. You think this would probably have been the slave quarters or the servants' quarters? Yeah, and so it would probably been a very communal bedroom, maybe for the women or the men. You do realize that across the hallway there is another room with a bunch, looks very similar. So probably one of these rooms was for the women's servants and the other was for the men's servants. Yeah, and that was very much kind of a dormitory setup.
Is this going to have access to the main hallway?
No, not at all.
Can we look for like secret doors or loose
That would be
floorboards,
investigation.
stuff like that? Because I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
I also have this.
Do some investigation.
Oh,
Ooh,
got a 6.
I got a 4.
I got a 2.
Wow.
That was a good
Holy
six.
cow.
Damn.
4.
Wow.
You look around, there don't seem to
Some
be any...
noticing boys.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
nothing. There's nothing there. Like, there's
Unfortunately, there are no actual doors or anything leading into the main part of the house. This would definitely have been the servants' area, where they would have kept the servants, kind of separate from the rest of the people who lived in the house. So there don't seem to be any ways in. The only door that's kind of secret is the one that led into the dining room, where the servants would have been able to kind of come in from the kitchen through this little back door and take stuff in, put it down, and then go back out to get more food.
In like a less than noticeable kind of way.
Yeah,
Just-
exactly. Because that's kind of the way they handled servants back then. They were like furniture, unfortunately. Yeah.
I would like to go to which I guess the dormitory that's closest to maybe the second floor balcony kind of area.
Yeah.
Test the wall and make a door ourselves.
Yeah. You can do that. The wall seems pretty flimsy. It's got kind of this plaster, this is before you had gypsum wallboard, this is, literally plaster that you would have slapped up there and let dry in place, and it has all these slats of wood behind it. You kind of rear back with your fist, and it just goes right through. Because again, the wood is rotten, and so there's about an 18-inch opening where there's some wood there that's kind of rotten that holds up. It actually looks in a little better shape, but you can kind of turn sideways and slide through.
You still have to go up the rickety stairs.
Right. You go in through and there's a bedroom. The bed is actually, you can tell it's a bed because it's got these big, canopy bed kind of posts that have fallen over the side. There's a bunch of feathers, which obviously came from maybe the pillows or
something.
yeah. And there is a wardrobe that's actually semi-intact. It hasn't rotted completely away. That's kind of tipped over and leaning against the wall. There's lots of windows, and there is a balcony that leads off the back of the house. There's a door leading out somewhere. You're not sure where. Looks like towards where the stairs were.
I made a door.
Yeah, you made a door.
Who's gonna check the?
For the record, I want to say I helped with that door.
Yeah.
Only reason why. Craftsmanship of 5. First thing under craftsmanship is breaking.
Hey, punch there. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You like design the
You're like-
In
Put his ear
this
to it.
area.
Pulled out your Sharpie and went
Right there.
there. Looky there. Yeah. So yeah. So you basically, kind of step into this bedroom. The floor creaks a bit and kind of wibbly wobblies, but you're thinking it's mostly intact.
Testing with every step.
Yeah,
as if
definitely,
on ice.
because it's kind of a little soft. You open the door out into the hallway, and you kind of stick your foot out on the landing. There's a couple other doors out there, maybe leading to other bedrooms, but that landing it's pretty
It's
sketchy.
giving me PTSD from the town we broke into.
Oh, right.
High school after Katrina.
Ooh, yeah, it's pretty
Second
sketchy.
floor was.
Yeah,
We got to the
wibbly
second
wobbly.
floor and we started walking. We're like, ooh.
Ooh, this is not
I don't
good.
know,
That's
it's
not
just-
okay.
And we were far into it before we started noticing. We're like, are we gonna make it back to the stairwell?
We'll hope so. This landing, which comes to the sketchy staircase from the entrance foyer, is not okay. You're like, I really don't want to step out there. There's a good chance this could probably give way beneath me. But the bedroom, at least, is okay. The other doors leading to probably what's other bedrooms, you're not sure how you're going to get there. So you could fly there, but the rest of these guys are not going to be able to do that.
I'm gonna turn over the wardrobe just in case there's anything in it.
Well, if there was, there's not anymore. You grab it, kind of turn it, open the door. There's a few tattered pieces of what might have been clothing at one point. A couple moths come flying out, and other than that, it's just pretty empty.
Great.
Yeah. But even so, the wardrobe, when you kind of start moving it, you can see that the wood is really rotted badly.
I don't understand why they're protected
Mm.
this place.
Pretty
There's
nice.
got to be more to
Pretty
it.
Missing
much like a
something.
dud so
Alright.
far. All right. Well, do you
I'm
want
gonna-
I can fly across and scout.
Okay, you gonna check out the bedrooms? All right, you leap into the air, kind of glide across, hit one of the hit one of the doors with your shoulder. Door just shatters. You land inside there. The floor here is much softer. You're like, whoa, okay. Again, it's almost an exact repeat of the other bedroom where there's kind of the tattered remains of a bed and a wardrobe, and it's in pretty bad shape for sure. So yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So weird.
Yeah, nothing here.
It's weird. It's weird. I mean, there's got to be something.
Maybe that sigil is masking reality.
I thought about playing with it, but y'all were like, no.
Well, we want to get more information first.
Well,
Because
let's
you
let
don't take the
everybody who's
screwdriver and mess with your power box.
Yeah, that's a good way to get
Well, maybe not more than one.
Yeah, definitely not more than once. You put a
So-
screwdriver in a power box, and one time you're dead.
Yeah, that's right.
I
You
know.
only do it once.
Yeah,
So-
that's right.
Oh, what if
Yoda.
Everybody who's uncomfortable with it, what if they get a wide berth and then we just do a little?
I'm
I'm sorry,
unsure
what was
what
that?
Breaking of the sigil.
is.
That was
Are we,
me.
like,
We dance on the sigil?
dancing, or-
Yes, that was me moonwalking across the sigil.
I'll
Do you
go
wanna,
with
like,
my
break
wizard eye again and see if I can see something.
Or
new.
summon, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good.
I
Summoning
don't know if I
whatever
want
is
to.
on the or dispel it.
We could.
Try and counterspell.
Let me do my wizard eye and see if I can see
You look
something.
at what are you looking at? The sigil.
Yeah.
We already looked at the sigil. You know it's being fed with the ley lines. You know it's
Okay.
kind of associated with Pakba Legba, but other than that, I mean, you've already looked at it once.
But can I look so I can see?
You gonna try and
None.
dispel it by using your wizard's eye? While you're using your wizard's eye? I mean, you can do that. You can try counterspell.
I was just gonna look around and see if there's anything else revealed with wizard's eye other than the sigil. I mean, is that the only thing here that's lighting up?
No, you can try it.
I
All
don't want
right.
to dispel it yet. I just want to
Right.
see if there's something else that we're not.
So are you going
seeing.
back down to the foyer? You stand up second floor?
I'm
What
gonna
are we
stay on
doing?
the second floor where they're checking out the
Okay.
rooms, right?
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Roll.
We haven't looked around at
Oh
the
dear lord!
Lore check, right?
Yeah, 3.
You look around, and one of the things you notice is that this area of the house is just full of this residual life energy. Somebody lived here, and they were very vibrant and alive. And this was a household with family and people, and there was a lot of happiness here. Now it's very much faded because it's been 200, 300 years. But this was a place that was loved by a lot of people. A lot of people lived here, and they really enjoyed it and called it home. You get even the feeling that there weren't really slaves here, because you would probably be able to sense the darkness that comes along with slavery. You get the feeling that the people who served here actually enjoyed their jobs. Maybe they even got paid for them. And so again, this was a community. It was a good time, but again, that was long ago and far away from where it is now. Now, what you sense is this kind of decay, and just like it's just gradually succumbing to time. It probably wouldn't be long before there wouldn't be much left.
Right. So
You can even detect maybe a very, very weak threshold, because this place was just that much of a home for a lot of people, which is interesting.
I was going to ask about the whole threshold thing, but I was thinking, after a couple hundred years, I don't know.
You would, where a couple hundred years you normally would not have a threshold, but this place has very much maintained its family attitude. And if you're going to close your wizard sight, I need a discipline check to see if you take any damage, or you're going to leave it open. Still have to make a discipline check, but it doesn't matter.
I'll close it.
Hey, there you go.
Hey.
That's a roll.
Better.
Much better.
I got a
Wait,
7.
Okay, you close your wizard sight. So yeah.
So okay. Going back to the sigil, I'm trying to remember. You said it was tainted.
No,
Or
I
it
said it
was
was
just
being
really strong,
powered.
it
It
was
was still
powered.
powered by the ley lines. It was not tainted. No,
But one of the ley lines is tainted.
right.
So, if everybody who's sketched out wants
Sketched
to
out.
give us a berth, we could potentially. I don't know if this would help, but I do have this ability called Bless This House, where I could increase the threshold. I don't know if that would stop something from getting out, or if it would just
Right.
whatever. And I could try to strengthen the threshold while you dispel that sigil, and let's just see what happens.
So my question about that because I don't know so much how it would affect you, but this isn't our house.
The bless the house ability
Works no
doesn't
matter where.
have to be my
Right.
house.
But there's no one to invite us into this house. How does the house's threshold affect us when we can't technically be invited in? And if you make it stronger, does that make
Right.
us weaker because
No,
we
it
have...
would- because there's nobody there to invite you in. Essentially,
Okay.
coming to
All
the
right.
house, you're kind of laying claim to it because
I don't exactly know how it works and like the rules and stuff like that because I
Yeah.
haven't fully read over it, but I know
I
that
haven't either, so I'm asking.
Right. My idea here was just that like if something bad happens as a result of this, perhaps it will just add an extra barrier of protection for the people outside.
It's very possible. Very possible. As long as you're inside the house, you might actually have a little more protection from it. That's true. True. So you're gonna start dinking with it.
Yeah, I'm up for it.
Okay.
All right,
You
you
guys
guys
up for it?
want to?
All
They
right.
want to.
I mean,
they want
the-
to go to the boat first or get clear of the house.
Well,
I'm not sure because he just said as long as we're in the house, it might be more protection.
Okay. Well,
It's true.
if you guys wanna
It was a
say-
home at one point, and it was a point of protection for a lot of people. So you're gonna kind of use your ability to
Yup.
bless this house.
Nice.
Now, the sigil is very obviously ritual magic. So to counterspell ritual magic, you're going to have to do a ritual of your own.
Yeah,
So, okay.
I'm gonna do a ritual. And would it be a good idea to tag an aspect?
Well, let me.
On this,
Okay,
or
so
just
what you're
wait
trying to do?
till
Wait, hold on. So you're
I
trying
roll
to do it.
terrible.
Right.
I'd like something.
Right.
Yeah, I'll wait till I roll terrible. It
You're
won't
going to
take
try and
long.
counterspell this ritual, right?
Yeah.
Let me see here. To do ritual magic.
And here's a question: do we have to counterspell the entire thing, or can we kind of like sort of pick it apart?
No, you'll probably need to. Well, remember, you can take as much time as you want. Okay, so if the complexity of this spell is less than your lore, then no preparation is required. Okay. The complexity of the spell is 15. What is your lore?
Definitely not.
Jesus.
My lore is
The
5.
to destroy the
So
Fail.
he could help you, which would give you a 6.
He can't though.
No, because he's not a thaumaturgist. So you're going to need some magic items, tag some aspects, something like that
Wait,
to
hold
try
on.
and.
I think I have something else
Okay.
that can help. I have Guide My Hand, which is basically I pray for you,
Mhm.
and I'm not sure what it does yet, so let me look it up.
Okay, that's fine.
So didn't you say that y'all found another sigil outside?
Now, the other option on that is you can take stress equal to the difference.
It was a drawing of a boat called something. It looked like a steam.
Would I need divination
Imam, and I
in
think the
this?
last, like,
Huh?
Yeah,
What do you mean? No, this is not
Oh,
divination. No,
yeah.
no.
you know, if there was OO or a porthole.
I'm just trying to think of anything.
Okay.
I'm not sure. So there's like 3 letters. That were the
AM,
same.
and then
Yeah.
circles.
So you got a 6. You need a
It was like some
15.
kind of- it had like a
So
steam
I don't
chute,
know if
too.
I'll be
Yeah.
able to
Smokestack?
assist in
Just
this
a
way, but
smokestack
let me
or
read what it says.
Like a
Given
shrimp
time to
bowl
pray
or
for
something?
guidance and
It
that
was-
your goals are pure and
say it
selfless,
was
you may
going
spend a
this
fate
way,
point to use your
it's
conviction
smokestack,
skill instead of
and
any
then
other
flag,
skill
with
for
flag
one
was
roll.
Okay.
This effect cannot be used for attacks or maneuvers, but can be used to bypass
look at
other
the word
kinds of
hybrid.
obstacles.
Yeah, it was weird.
Well, since you're not really bypassing the spell, I'm not sure that would
Did he like
help.
show you a picture?
Okay.
Is that what
Yeah.
we're going-
If somebody
That's
were
why it's so
casting a
descriptive.
spell,
It's like
like
exactly-
or trying
pretty
to bind
damn
you.
good.
Right. So, all right. So we got 6 points out of 15. So you need 9 more points. You're going to need to tag some aspects. See if you've got some preparation, some magic items that you can use. Do you have any foci that would allow you to counterspell? Your sword could be used.
I have my but my foci is for like defensive control.
Okay, your
And-
sword, remember, can be a strength 6 counterspell
Yes.
once per session.
Ooh.
Right.
Right,
So that would be a counterspell to the sigil. Is that what you're
right,
saying?
right.
Okay.
Because
So
it
that would add
literally
plus
is
6 to your
right.
overall.
Mhm.
And then I could tag the aspect seeking the truth because I want to know what.
Right. So that would be
Behind the sigil.
14. You'd be one. You could take a
14.
1-point stress and you'd be fine.
What about dead inside? Because this home is kind of dead.
No.
And,
But how many more would you need after 4?
ooh, what about love conquers all? Because there's
Jody.
love and
You're gonna have to take a 1-point stress.
Okay. I will.
So all right. So you begin your ritual. You grab your little chalk and you kind of make a circle
Is this
around
gonna
the
be mental
sigil.
Stress?
Huh?
Mental.
Yes, mental stress. Let me see what it says actually. Accept or inflict counting stress value of constant. Okay, yeah, it'd be mental.
Do I take it now?
Yes, you take 1 point. So basically, you draw a circle around it with your chalk. You put candles in each of the corners. You take your sword out and you kind of touch your sword to the sigil, and there's just kind of this wing sound as it just kind of increases in the ringing tone that's coming with it. As this is going on, the rest of you hear outside the house.
Awareness, I look.
Okay.
All right, sword at the ready.
Look outside and see.
You go look outside. From the right-hand side of the house, I guess what would be the eastern side, there was a fenced-in area that you saw. And you see these shapes that seem to be shambling towards the house.
Oh, God, it's
okay?
on the island.
Sweet.
Ghouls.
I mean, oh no!
Humanoid? Yeah.
Some
Swamp
kind of
things.
zombie things.
Yeah, look, maybe zombie-ish.
Shambling
Yeah.
mounds.
How many are
There you
there?
go. Well, there's only 3 that have come out of the basically fenced-in area yet,
for
but
your
you
die?
see a lot
Yeah.
of movement behind them. Okay?
There's movement behind them.
Yes.
Monk was like, I knew this whole thing.
I knew it the whole time.
Yep.
Should have stayed home.
I'm gonna
I
go.
I wanted to.
I wanna
We don't
jump
drink
out,
Mhm.
grab their attention, and funnel them to the barn.
The barn's a good bit of ways from here. You're not sure you're going to be able to draw them towards the barn, but you can definitely draw their attention.
Yeah, I want to draw them away from the house if I
Okay.
can.
All right. You jump out, rah, run towards them,
And
and
fly.
okay, they seem to be pretty dead set on coming towards the house.
Okay. I
They
guess
don't
I'll
want.
start
They don't want their
smacking
sigil
and
being
whacking and
destroyed.
Is she
Slacking.
complete? Like, did she complete her?
I haven't even
She
gotten
hasn't
roll
started
yet.
her rolling yet. Now you have to
Okay.
decide how much power you're going to put in each turn. You have to match a power level of 15. Okay.
You're gonna have to funnel them into the house because the threshold that I put up only works if
That's
I'm
what I'm
in the
thinking.
house.
That's-
So funnel them
They wanna
towards
There's
the
a
house.
reason why they kept this hidden.
So you're going to be making discipline
We can
checks,
flank
and you
them,
have to
can
reach
get behind
15.
them, and if they come up, I'll be in the doorway.
What if the sigil's keeping them at bay?
Or what if the sigil is hiding the treasure?
No.
Yeah,
What
like,
if you doing
those are
this
the-
thing
What if the
is
treasure is a happy home?
taking it away and then
Oh, that's beautiful.
Aww,
I mean, come
that's
on.
completely worthless to all of us.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I don't
That's gonna
know.
be some secret-
Lafitte doesn't seem like the kind of person who would value.
We have a secret
I don't
lair
know.
now. That's the treasure.
A secret lair that's falling apart as we walk
We
across.
have to take a
Store
boat to
it.
get stuff from. I
Hey,
mean,
remember
come
this is before lumber prices went up. You could actually repair it pretty good.
Wait, has the sigil been destroyed yet, or is it
No.
still?
She's
Yeah.
destroying it. She's working on
I'm
it.
working
What if the
on
zombie
it.
are trying to
All right,
protect
I'm
the home
standing
part?
in
Maybe
the
they're
door
good
frame,
zombies.
getting ready to defend
on.
this
Maybe they're
house.
trying to protect the probably
All
trying
right.
to protect the sigil being.
So,
I would assume.
in for a penny, in for a pound.
Make a discipline roll.
Keep
How many
doing
points?
it, or you guys want to stop?
How many points?
Let's
You,
go.
I want to go.
how much power?
This,
are you
this
gonna-
is her crazy.
How much power are
request
you going to
over
try
here,
and
so-
feed into it to do it? You have to reach 15 power before the spell is countered.
How many tries do I get?
Okay,
to
you
get
can
to 15?
take as long as you want.
One
This
batch,
the
two
longer you
batch, and
take, the
then
more
I'm
I'm
zombies.
gonna go for 4. I'm gonna do 4 power.
Okay, so roll your discipline. Remember, if you don't make this power check, all 15 points gets funneled into you. Good luck in
Oh,
handling
never
that.
mind, never mind,
yeah.
never mind, never mind.
No, you got
Alright,
it.
so what
you
what
got
are
it.
you doing? What's he doing?
He-
He gives him plus 1 to it?
He's helping
He's
you.
giving you
Okay.
the 6 lore.
I'm gonna go for.
He can soak some of the stress if you want.
I'm
If
gonna
he
do
wants
3
I
power.
can.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do
You
3
4?
power.
3 power?
We
All
can
right.
do- we can
Roll
do
your
it.
discipline. What'd you get?
Whatever.
Roll that one again. It's on the side.
Hey.
Oh, it's not bad. What'd you get?
Sorry,
What's your discipline?
get plus 1, so that's a 6.
Okay, so you handled 3 of the power, okay, so out of the 15. So,
Mhm.
all right. Now, this round, what's your alertness?
My alertness is a 3.
All right, your alertness is a 3. You go swooping out there trying to draw off the zombies' interest, and they're having none of it. Instead, the zombies seem to be coming straight towards the house. Are you doing anything particular?
I said zombies.
Zombies! They're gonna eat my face and her brain.
How far away? I mean, how far away are they?
They're probably about 100 feet away, and they are shambling,
Yeah,
but they're moving with direct and purpose. Yeah. So you're gonna try and take a couple of them out?
So you got the front of the house, pretty nasty crap. You got a porch.
Right.
Can I collapse maybe the front?
Well, they're actually coming in from the side, believe it or not, which would be actually into the servants' entrance when they get here.
Why are the servants attacking?
Yeah.
Oh, well, can I collapse maybe
Attacking their house?
the back
The back porch?
then? Or the whatever,
Sure. Give me a
whatever
mic
there's
check.
an awning? Just
Yeah, give me a mic check. Yeah,
to
sure.
make it hard for them to get
Yeah,
through.
you can try.
Alright, so
You're
minus
you get a
1.
plus something for breaking.
I've got
stuff.
superhuman might
This is mic.
and human strength. So I get plus 3 to might scores.
Right.
And my might's a 5, so it's an 8 to start.
Yeah.
Minus 1 is a 7.
Okay, so you walk up to the pillars that where the servants would normally kind of walk underneath, and there's a little path that kind of leads off to the west, and you go whack, and one of the pillars whack, and and you kind of step out from underneath it, and the whole the little land, it's got a porch that you could get onto on the second floor, and it goes and just completely blocks the door. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so you got it covered now. So that's what you're hearing.
Yeah.
All right. So that was in round 1. It's probably going to take the zombies maybe another couple rounds to get there. Yeah.
So, do I get a plus 1 with him? I'm still trying to figure
Not on
this
discipline.
out.
Not on discipline check. Only on your power rating. Okay. So you're going to put another. How much you putting in now? You put in 3. You got to reach 15. You can go for 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna try 4 because.
All right. What's your discipline at?
My discipline is a 5.
Well, you should be all right.
Yes,
Okay.
easy.
So even, so that's 5.
So 7 total now. So you're
No,
halfway
8.
there.
I did 3 the first time.
You did 3, and then 4 this time. Is
I
what you
did
said.
5 this time. Wait.
No,
No, you
you
did
said
four.
you're going to put 4 in, so it's
Sorry.
7.
Sorry, numbers.
Any bonuses
Numbers.
above that are just lost.
Numbers.
Okay,
Okay.
so you've done 7. All right, so zombies are getting closer. You notice there's definitely more than 3. These first 3 zombies were the overachiever
There's
zombies.
at least 3.
Yeah, and the overachiever zombies are probably this next round. They're going to reach the porch or maybe the house or
That
something like
was
that.
Carson.
There's maybe
Johnson.
another 10 or 15 behind them that have just started stumbling out of the gate. There's a lot of zombies. Okay, you're a little concerned about this. Okay.
Captain Ron, Starvin.
Just Ron's way up he's on the boat. He ain't doing nothing. All right, round 3. Okay.
I'm gonna do
How
4
much?
again.
Can I do some more stuff?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Round. Yeah. What are you gonna do?
I guess I'll start just yeeting them across. Like
All right.
like a
All right. Do me an attack roll.
or something. I'll just kill them. Screw
Okay,
it. I'm Volt.
yeah. There you go.
I don't care about these people.
There you go.
I'm
They're
gonna
not
smack
people.
one
They're
of them with
zombies.
his nappy head.
Yeah,
They're
that's right.
zombies.
Or not. I don't know. That's kind of a bad roll.
What'd you get?
So my might. I'm doing a fist check. So my fist total is a 3.
Okay. You did hit 1. You beat me by 2, so you don't get with style. But you hit 1 for 2.
My claws are a weapon 2 with a human strength makes it a 4 damage.
Right, so do 4 damage. All right, so you hit this zombie, and he's kind of nasty and desiccated. And when you do, you punch him, and one of his arms snaps off, and he just kind of keeps going.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because zombie. He's going to turn around and take a swing at you with his other arm.
Okay.
You disarmed him halfway.
I defend with fist, right?
Yeah.
Disarmed.
No, you defend with athletics, actually.
But if it's a close range thing, I can defend with fist.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you can use either one.
Can the zombie grab his arm and rearm himself?
That's right.
I think I might beat him with his own arm.
That's right.
Well, that might be a weapons check.
Yeah.
All right, so that's going to be a 4.
Okay. He got a 4, so he tied with you, so you're okay. He actually picks up his own arm and takes a swing at you with it. You duck underneath, okay? Yeah, so there you go. He's going to take
Smart zombie. Maybe.
Hear you. All right. Anything in particular you're doing? I mean, you could shoot him from range with your, kinetic abilities.
Yeah.
You can do an AOE kinetic ability to knock them off their feet if
I can
you
just
want.
see Bunk
Yeah.
like edging closer and closer to where the boat is.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I'm seeing myself. It's just like yep, it was a bad idea.
They're off to
Bad
the
idea.
east. The boat
No.
is south. I could make it to the boat.
I mean,
before they even
so
reach
I'm
me.
doing the calculation. So if they get this close to her, then maybe if I do. So yeah, I'm doing the calculation. I'm not doing anything right now because
All right.
I'm like
He's
I don't
like,
want
we're gonna see how hairy this gets.
And you're,
right?
and you're praying to build the threshold.
Yeah.
Right, got it.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of sitting back going.
I'm waiting until they
I
get
can
in
outrun these
touching
guys.
range.
They don't look real quick.
Yeah, I'm in a tight spot.
Because I want to.
You're in a tight spot, but I can run.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, and I'm a coward.
Alrighty.
Well,
Jody.
you have had more of the traumatic stuff happen to you.
Yeah, I mean, I remember getting
Yeah, the
into
Reaper and the
Strapped into
sacrificial
an
knife.
electric
Yeah,
chair.
chair. I'm like,
Jody,
zombies
make me
now.
a discipline check.
There's been a lot.
I was like, I'm not sure these are my friends now.
Remember when I
We're
was
just old
Five,
acquaintances.
Okay, but you'd only put 4 in, I guess. So you're at 11 now. Okay, 11. So you need one more round. Okay.
I was
All right.
thinking about having the remember when I just did jazz and took bets?
What are you going to do this round? The zombie is not down. He is definitely not down. He seems kind of resilient. Dead things are.
Yeah, I was
I've seen the zombies like one of those girl fights with his arm.
No. This guy is a little more resilient than that. You knock his arm off, he picks it up and takes a swing at you with it.
Can I do a try to his legs off? Take his legs out?
Okay, so you're going to tag him with the aspect legless. Legolas?
Yeah, Legolas.
Legolas.
He pulls out a bow.
That's probably a maneuver. Well, yeah, this is a maneuver, so make me a, fist check. Yeah.
Okay, so fist.
Yeah.
Can I modify fist with might?
I think you already get a +1 with that. You should get a +1.
It always provides a +1 regardless of
Right.
the comparison if I modify another skill with
Yeah,
it.
so you should be using your fist +1 with might, because you're doing mighty
Start off
stuff.
as a
Yeah.
6 then.
Right. You should be able to.
Base 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good roll so far. Nice.
Mhm.
So that's a 8.
Okay, so you beat. Well, he's got a defense. Sorry.
I like it.
Yeah, all right.
I'll keep that defense up.
Would you get an 8? Okay,
I got an 8.
so I got a 0. Okay, so
Sled
you
on
beat
the
him with
slime
style, which means you definitely tag him.
Nobody saw it.
Yeah, which you've knocked his legs out from underneath him. He's now fallen to the ground. Let's see, you beat him by 8. Your weapon 4, right?
Yeah.
So that's 12 damage. Okay, he's got to soak that mess.
The legs come off. He also just
Yeah.
pirouettes through the air.
You do it. Torso entirely spins. Lands on neck.
It starts biting at you.
All right. So you slap his legs out from underneath him, and he hits the ground, and he's kind of halfway crawling forward, but you get the feeling you've incapacitated him to the point where he's not really an issue anymore, even if he's not dead.
How
Okay.
close are the rest?
There's 2 other ones that are close enough they're going to take a swing at you,
Okay.
and the other ones are maybe about 10 feet behind. There's maybe 15 more. You're like, holy crap, these guys are really resilient. So the other 2 are going to take a swing at you. You get an athletics check. Jeez
Something
Louise.
servants interest.
I am rolling so well.
I really like the
I
way
like
you're
it.
going
Yeah.
tonight.
So with the +1 might skill for the fist defense, do I still get that?
No, you don't.
Okay.
Get that, yeah.
I do still get a 6 though.
Right. I got a +1, so you beat him easily. My other guy got a 4.
I got a 5.
Okay, so you still beat him. These zombies shamble forward. They take swings at you. One of them tries to bite at you, and you kind of shove him out of the way and move to the side. They're not terribly nimble, But again, you get the distinct feeling that they're pretty hard to kill. I mean, you had to hit this guy pretty hard before you shattered his legs, and then he's still not dead. He's just on the ground, essentially immobile.
Yeah, pretty resilient.
Yeah. That brings us. Yeah, you calculate.
I mean, how far did they get?
They're
closer?
maybe about 20 feet from the house. You think this next round they're going to reach the house?
Okay, I'll wait until they're at the doorstep.
Okay.
And then,
Sounds
Yeah.
good. All right. Jody, last roll. Hopefully you don't,
Yeah, thanks for making me nervous.
Ooh, you did okay.
It's even, so it's a 5.
All right. So you reach over, the ringing in your sword kind of reaches this wee pitch where you can actually see where the floor is kind of shaking and there's plaster coming off the ceiling, and then there's kind of poof, and what you see is the chalk that's on the ground kind of flies into the air, and striding out of the middle of this chalk is this guy.
oh crap! There he is,
Yo,
Papa
is it
whatever.
him?
He looks a lot like
Papa
this. Okay.
Nice.
And he comes walking out and he kind of goes, why you know like Papa Legba protection spell?
Oh, is that what this was?
See, knew it. Knew it was protection spell.
We thought.
We thought it was causing the ley line to be tainted.
Oh,
Why
that's
would
what you
Papa
thought.
Legba taint the ley lines? That's the lifeblood of the earth.
Did you know it was tainted? Because
It's not my problem. Papa Legba doesn't use ley lines. I'm a Loa.
But if
We
you,
are the spirits of the earth.
But if your sigil is protecting whatever is causing the ley line to be tainted,
Why are you so worried about... I'm a Loa of the earth. Why would I hurt the ley lines? You need to go back to school, little girl. he looks really kind of irritated with you. You should go see my friend, Percy Lestrange. He could straighten you out straightway.
we've met, yeah.
Yeah, you know Percy. Yeah, you know Percy.
yeah.
He says, well, my protection is no longer on this house. That's fine. And the dust falls to the ground, and when it does, he's gone. And the zombies just go and fall to the ground, and they're gone. So, yeah.
Damn, I'm good.
Yeah. And so you're kind of looking around going, what
I
just
knew it all
happened?
along.
Yeah. Not sure.
Well,
Did we do a bad thing?
Y'all didn't bargain
What
for
was
treasure?
what was it protecting?
Probably.
It wasn't protecting anything.
It was
Yeah.
protecting this house.
Yeah, it was. It was like keeping it intact was like 200 years of weather damage, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know. There's something here that we need to find.
If they was protecting the house, there's something here worth protecting.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
sure.
Sure, a happy home.
A happy home, yes.
Who knows how
No,
long this
like,
thing has been there? It could have been here for
100%.
300 years.
100%. Bunk and I, completely different backgrounds, everything going on. This is the only conclusion that we're coming up with.
Yes, somebody 300 years ago wrote this out and then protected the house, and then they decided, you know what? We're out. We like electricity, and
But somebody in the last month was here. They're still protecting it.
they might just come back to visit every once in a while, smoke some weed, and then go back.
Maybe they got
Alright.
really drunk and landed here somehow.
Hey, can you call him back?
You call him back.
The answer to
No,
that
thank
question
you.
is no. You have no idea how to call
No,
Papa
I
Legba.
don't want to.
You could probably do some reading in your books and stuff like that, but you have no
I
idea.
don't want to. He was very full of himself. All right, so I'm gonna open my.
He was a Noah.
I can't disagree with that. 'Cause that's what.
Maybe because he have every right to be full of himself. Anyway.
Well, I'm taking them out one low at a time. No,
So
I'm
did
just
anything else change around us? besides
No,
that?
not at all.
This is the darkest timeline.
I mean, that's the
No.
big X didn't show up at someplace
No.
else.
the
I mean,
house
does
is-
everything crumble or
No,
earthquakes?
the house
or...
looks the same. The only thing you see crumble is the zombies collapse back into dust. And actually, what you see them is they drop to the ground and they turn to smoke, and this mist kind of rolls back into this, basically fenced in area, and then
Graveyard.
gone. Yeah.
Damn.
All right, so Wizard Eye. Do I see anything now here or no?
Make me a lore check.
Is there still a threshold?
I mean, there's still.
Ooh, that's a good roll.
If
I got
there
a
was a
6.
threshold, then I'd put up
I mean,
the threshold.
I got a
There's
7.
plus
The
one
threshold is still there. You get the feeling that the
The
threshold.
house is still a home.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
The threshold
the
is still there.
treasure
Wait,
But what
I'm
you
gonna
see,
turn it,
no,
then we
no,
go.
It's just not protected anymore.
what you see is that the sigil, the power that the ley lines that were feeding into the sigil's gone. There was a spell on the house that has now been disrupted, but you're not exactly sure what this spell was. Yeah.
How can we discern what the spell is?
Well, it's gone now. You don't know.
Oh well, I thought you said okay.
You gonna close your wizard's eye?
Yeah.
You gonna look around some more.
Well, you're confusing me. I wanted to look around and see if there was something, if we could see whatever it was that was
We can
protecting.
see names in the
Okay,
graveyard.
the sigil
There's
was
gotta be
protecting
treasure
it.
here.
The sigil's
It
gone.
has to be somewhere.
Gotta be something.
Me, you, and Captain Ron are the only ones that come back. I'm
Yeah.
looking.
You gonna keep walking around with your
They're
wizard's
like-
I
eye?
don't
Here,
want to have the wizard's eyes. I don't want to
dig
wander
so many
around, so I'm gonna
holes.
close it.
It's gonna be like
I'd
a
say we
movie
head
holes.
towards the graveyard and see names on
Is that a
tombstones.
discipline?
That's a good
Just to check
idea.
what you get.
What if Lafitte's
3.
buried out there? No, we know where Lafitte's buried.
So,
right?
do you want to go to the
Do we
graveyard?
know where Lafitte's
Yeah.
buried?
I don't know. Do we know where Lily's buried?
Is Lafitte buried
you
in
don't
New
know.
Orleans?
We know where his ghost was. I mean, we know where Lafitte
What if we
is.
found his bones? And then we could take his bones and we go meet him at the bar and we'd be like, we got your bones. Do you want to be free? Tell us where the treasure is. We would have.
And he would tell you about the
Leverage.
happy home he had.
Yeah, I had this nice island out in
The only
Pontchartrain.
treasure I ever had was this house.
So many great memories.
I'm not sure how I feel about trying to extort a ghost.
My wife Abigail, my
That's-
children.
Well, it was more like an offer of help. You know, we could free him by.
Is that what?
And that didn't sound too much. It's like, hey, we got your bones. Tell us where the treasure is.
A little bit more like
I would
blackmail, a
never do
little
that.
bit more like we have your
I would
best
never,
interests.
never
At which
do
point
that.
I crushed
I
one of
wanna-
his femurs.
Yeah.
He's like, he limps around now.
No, I just thought he might be so grateful that he doesn't have to be a restless spirit anymore. That he might.
So
Just
we heading to
nice.
the graveyard.
Yes.
Yes, but I didn't
We
have
gotta
one
find
wizard eye
treasure.
open.
Okay.
Right?
You walk past what looks like several outbuildings that are out there. All of them kind of
Take
fall
out my
into decay and
collapsible metal
disuse.
detector.
You really can't tell what they are exactly. You probably have to actually check. Well, okay, I take that back. One of them distinctively looks like a blacksmith. It's kind of an open building. There's a big metal anvil there. Okay, well, small metal anvil because it's used probably for shooting
Like
horses and
horseshoes
stuff
or
like that.
something.
Yeah, nails, stuff like that. But the others are kind of enclosed. You head out towards the graveyard, and it's got basically a wooden picket fence around it, and there looks like there's about maybe 10, 15 gravestones that are in this little graveyard.
You still have your wizard side open?
No, she closed
Oh.
it.
No, I do not want to walk into a graveyard with my wizard side open.
So let's start looking at tombstones, see if we recognize names.
The first one, they all kind of end in Lafitte. There's Abigail Lafitte. She's back in the 1800s. What you notice progressing is that as you get further, I guess, to the right, the headstones get newer and newer until the newest person to be buried there was buried in 1990. So somebody's been burying people out here for the last
What was the
200
name of the
years.
latest one?
Thomas Lafitte.
Thomas Lafitte.
Yeah.
What about the, oh no, I can't. I
Yeah.
was like, what about the, well, never mind.
Guys,
Yeah.
I don't think the treasure is here. I think that National Treasure style, we're going to find another clue here that's going to lead
Oh,
us
to lead to more
to
treasure.
the next location where there might be another clue.
This is like a
and
Down
then,
Brown book where it's like
Dude.
the bloodline is the whole thing.
Yeah, it's going to lead us to
That's not how
a
you go.
family member that's alive.
Exactly. It's gonna
Then
be.
we can extort them.
Yeah! Or there might be like the secret descendants of Christ.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. It's
There is no trail actually leading to the graveyard, by the way. The trail that out the back of the house actually led to the left towards the other set of outbuildings that were off to the west. So yeah.
But yeah,
So
mean-
is that the latest and last
What was the name of the
tombstone?
name of
Thomas
Yeah.
Lafitte.
1990s. Thomas Lafitte. Yeah.
Good enough.
it? Yeah. Well, no, I'm right there.
What year was Thomas Lafitte born?
19. Well, it doesn't. He was born in 1943, and he died in 1997.
Ooh, he was old. Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any,
Not as old
like,
as I thought. I was like 43. That was, but I didn't think about the fact that it was 90 when he
It's
died.
fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
He died at the age of like 54.
Are there
Okay,
any,
he died young,
Young-ish,
actually.
but you know.
That's young. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any like
Um,
trinkets or stuff that have been like laid around these graves,
no.
tombstones?
Not at all.
Flowers.
Is this
Actually, yes. Several of the more recent graves do have wilted flowers around them. They look like they've been there for maybe, a while, but you're not sure how long exactly. Anybody have botany? No, I'm kidding. So, yeah, they've been there for a while. But you're
What
not
is Lafitte's first name, and is he here?
sure. Jean.
Jean?
No, he is not
He's
here.
not here.
Jean Lafitte's grave is not there. No.
Mm.
Abigail Lafitte. Does anybody have investigation or
I
scholarship?
do.
Let's go with
I do.
scholarship.
That's scholarship.
Yeah.
scholarship.
Ooh, that's good. That's
Ooh.
4.
Okay.
Ooh.
5.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
I got
All
3.
pluses.
You guys both recognize that Abigail Lafitte was supposedly one of Lafitte's wives.
Okay.
He had several in different ports of call, because that's how pirates rolled. But yeah, this was one of his wives. So yeah.
Okay, all right. We're getting close. I can feel it.
I'm literally feeling like this is more and more like
This is just like the,
home. Home is the treasure.
yeah, I mean, it is. It's like was it Thomas Lafitte's like son is going to come back and go, what the hell happened here? And
You killed all the zombies. Thanks, man.
yeah,
All right. So what are you gonna do?
I mean, we don't see any other like sigils or
What else
anything.
is there to check out?
popped up, or-
Actually, on the back side of the graveyard, next to the water, because it's kind of down near the water's edge, there's kind of a little scrubby stand of trees that kind of blocks it from the water. You see another one of these sigils that look like the kind of boat that's basically on this concrete slab, and you see again another bottle of rum, another chicken
What
foot.
does that boat look like?
Mama.
I'll show you.
Oh,
Yes, because I never got to see it.
yeah.
Look like this.
In my moon.
Maybe we need to look for a sunken boat, and that's where the treasure is.
I mean,
I wonder how long.
Well, if there's two, maybe there's
Sigils
like
were here
we
because-
find a bunch of those little
Because
areas.
if we
Well,
put
it's-
these sigils
it's
on
Like it
the
makes a
side-
triangle, and that's where it's at.
it's another. I bet it's another protection spell. It's just around the site because didn't you say like the things were preserved right around? So it's
Oh.
probably
So it's preserving something.
yeah.
Can we see if there's any structures around that's preserving, like it did the boathouse?
No, in fact,
Can't
this
see.
one's there's not any structures besides the graveyard, and
So
think
is it
it's
like
protected
where is
by
it
the
like
graveyard?
if I look towards where the boat is or where the other one is, it's like
the one towards the boat is on the south side of the island. This is on the east side of
What
the
kind of
island.
magic is
okay. So if we go to the north side of the island,
Yeah, we
Awesome.
find
You want to go check?
Do you want to see if
Y'all wanna
there's
go see?
4 points? Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
you
yeah.
kind of
See what
wander
right here
along
is
the
there?
edge of the trees, and sure enough, kind of north of the mansion towards the water's edge, there is another one of these boat sigils with rum and what looks like cheap
Guys.
champagne and chicken's foots there.
Can I
I'm telling you, he protected this island for a reason.
open my wizard
Yes.
eye and look at this?
His family
symbol?
was here.
Let's see what
pirate
I see.
He had,
Sure. Make your
he
blood
had
check.
ports of call ladies all over the world. I don't.
And this is the one he liked more.
Wow.
exact opposite.
Wow.
Wow.
You can't roll much lower than that. What'd you get?
A 1.
I mean, it's
What are you trying to see? You see power rolling off of this sigil on the northern side of the island. That's about all you can see.
You've got
Okay.
these things.
Yeah. I'm going to tag an aspect to
I
reroll.
guess the west side of the island's the only one we haven't checked yet.
yeah.
West side.
What should I think I'll do Seeking Truth.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Re-roll. Dear Lord. That's a terrible roll. That's much better.
Well, yeah.
That in comparison,
That's
Yeah.
much better.
4.
Okay. What you see again is
Thank
this.
goodness it didn't happen with the zombie.
It's the
Yeah.
same protection spell, and ironically, you think it's the protection spell that was kind of on the
Oh
dock
wait, can I talk
and the
to Papa
boathouse.
Lau again?
Listen to me.
Sorry.
Okay, it's the same protection spell that was kind of covering the dock and the boathouse. No, Papa Legba wants nothing to do with you. Okay, he's not coming at your beck and call unless it's to chew your head off.
I was gonna say hello again.
No, but this.
Where's the treasure?
Oh, hi, Mark.
Okay, roll me another lore check.
Ooh.
Okay, or actually scholarship.
No, that's scholarship.
Okay, you get +0 then. Roll.
Hey.
That's not bad. 2.
2.
You get the feeling that this is a different sigil than the one you saw in the house.
Yeah.
It's not the same Loa.
So if there's 3,
So anybody know
are they
anything
set
about
up in
Lois?
the way of a triangle, possibly?
Wait,
We haven't checked the west side yet.
you know who we should ask about this?
Captain Ron?
Percy Lestrange.
Oh, he's so far though.
Or what's her name in
Or the
The
voodoo priestess.
Oh, the priestess.
Maria-
Yeah,
Maria-
she would probably know about it.
But they might hide secrets from us with treasure.
Marianne, will go?
Where they want a cut of the treasure.
I don't trust Percy Lestrange.
Yeah, me either. But
Because he's out for more power. So whatever he does, he's gonna have the upper hand. We might think we do, but he'll have the upper hand.
Do you want to go to the west side and check that one out?
Sure. You walk
are you trying
towards
to remember if we even met him?
Yeah. You
No,
walk
no,
towards
I'm
the
sorry.
Because
west
I was
side.
just thinking that too. I was
There's
like,
what
did I?
looks like a building that's a
I don't
kitchen.
think y'all do.
There's also a what looks like a building that's a little more open, and it's got some. I don't know. Maybe there's 2 big iron kettles sitting out beside this. One of them's is kind of by the kitchen, and there's a big iron kettle that's kind of by this other building. They're kind of sitting tipped to the side on these stones. They're actually
Like
looks like
leftover?
there's yeah, like they're just old or something like that. And you're walking towards the area where it's cultivated, where the sugar cane has kind of just gone wild. You're going to have to cut through the forest part to get to the west. That's no
With
problem.
my
You can do
claws.
that, yeah. You start cutting your way through the forest. Probably maybe 30 minutes goes through. And on the west side of the island, sure enough, there's another one of these weird boat sigils. So there's basically at the cardinal points on this island, there's these boat sigils.
And this one looks
Yeah.
weird too.
No,
Or
it's
not
just-
weird, but
it's
different.
the same way.
Same way,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Bacardi rum.
This is probably just
Champagne.
the aura
Oh
protection
wait,
to
that
not
stuff's
find
there
it.
too.
That's
That's
what I
not
was
just
thinking.
random discard.
No.
The Bacardi rum and everything's at these
Yeah.
places.
Yeah, and with the little chicken foot, yeah.
Every
Somebody-
one of them.
somebody's
So it's
repowering
part
this. Yeah.
It's probably just to block navigation to this island.
Now the interesting thing about it, like I said, the
Probably.
Bacardi rum is reasonably recent bottle, and the chicken foots have not had a chance to actually decay very much, so they're recent as well.
Would we know any other spells these items are used in, or what spells these items
You
would
don't
be used
use
on?
them. You don't know. I mean,
No.
this is kind of out of your jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anybody know anything about Lois?
No, not really.
No.
Nothing other than they get really ticked off if you take
they
their
seem to
sigil off.
I mean, if I had
So
something
who's this
for
person-
200
the
years
Percy
and
Lestrange
thought people
person
cared
you
about
called
it,
out?
that's
Yeah, that was the person
She
that she
knows.
got stuff from to power her spell with. The guy who demanded payment in the memory of Terrence. Who looked
Right.
like not Papa Legba, he looked like Baron Samdi when you were talking to him.
Okay.
Yeah, which that's another Loa,
He has a
different
Yeah.
aspects. Yeah,
He's great in spite.
he is.
I love them.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So, what are we gonna do?
Well, let's go around the island and see how many of these boat sigils there are in all.
I think we did northwest, east, and south.
Oh, we did.
Unless
Okay,
it's a
sorry.
compass
Thought we were
rose.
good.
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Oh,
what's
God.
the center? What's the center of the?
Tell me that.
You know?
You can kind of see it's like the middle of it's kind of the middle of the island, but it's the road that leads to the little antebellum
Is it a
mansion.
crossroad?
No, there's
Okay.
just one road, which is kind of weird.
Mm.
Yeah,
Can we dig under the road?
you can. Where do you think it crosses? You want to dig down there? Did you bring shovels?
No, but there's
I
a
did
garden.
bring
No,
my
but he has
collapsible
claws.
metal
You know?
detector.
I got claws, I guess.
I have my collapsible metal detector. We could just.
You don't. You don't.
You know,
Is there
A
not
for
a
effort.
shovel?
A for effort.
Is there not a shovel or a shovel head
No.
in all the?
It's all been washed
No.
away or
They're not a donkey.
Rust
with
it
a-
away or something. Like you can do it with your claws. You
Yeah.
find what's
Yeah.
essentially
I
the
don't-
middle.
I don't think that's the play.
All right.
Okay.
So we're at the center. It's just a road that leads up.
Right. But it is the center of the island.
Okay, so
Nothing in
I
the root
will
cellar.
open my wizard eye and check out the road at the center part right here.
Does it
Lore
jingle
check.
like gold? Are those money symbols? Oh gosh.
No, that's not good.
3.
You don't actually see any. Okay. You kind of see a general energy around the island, but it stops at the shoreline. So you don't feel like the energy from these different symbols is on the island. That's about all you can see.
I'm pretty
Still
certain
thinking,
it just
yeah.
blocks navigation to this island. That's what those four
Yeah,
symbols
that's
are.
probably what stopped Cameron.
But
from
why
being-
would they want to preserve this so badly and just bury people here? It seems lame.
I just
There's got to be
feel
a
like
treasure.
there's more to it than someone's
Did
happy
any of the
head.
headstones look
Then
weird?
I guess we need to find Thomas.
Did any of the headstones look
I
weird?
guess.
Not
Hey.
really. I mean, some of them were newer than others, but I mean,
Does anybody have Speak with Dead? I'm just kidding. Wrong name.
Actually, if they're recently dead, I can, but, you know.
Well, it's
Really?
been 10 years.
Reading the Dead Eyes.
Oh, that's
Strength 5
20.
plus 2 control. Could I read the Dead Eyes of the zombies?
they've been dead for a little longer.
Yeah, that's
And they
right.
turned into a smoke and went back
Yeah.
home.
Yeah, they're
So what-
gone. Yeah.
What year is it? We got Thomas Lafitte.
2010.
2010,
He died in
yeah.
90.
Everything's
It's
just
been 20
happened
years
because
since he died.
people who weren't Lafitte's went to the
Just
house.
too-
That's
Well,
that's
the way
what
they
I'm
were trying to
thinking.
But
protect
we
the
could go to the
Right,
library
so-
and find out if Thomas
Yeah.
Lafitte has any living
Really relatives.
surviving relatives, because whoever that is probably who has been protecting
Doing the
this
thing.
island.
Yeah.
Either way, we have broken down a couple of their wards, so they're probably
won't
going to be
know.
looking for
not,
us.
not to mention that just saying this, someone is constantly maintaining and upkeeping the thing going around
Yeah.
with the Bacardi and the rum and the chicken feet and all that kind of stuff. So
They'll be back. We could just wait them out.
no,
I was thinking
Not
about that,
at all.
actually. I was thinking about
Um,
No.
He says,
No.
I have
I
things to do. I have a life.
I think Darwin was right that we should probably go find the children, whatever,
The descendants.
Of
the
Thomas
descendants of Thomas Lafitte.
Yeah.
For what?
Treasure!
Well, at this
You want
point,
to beat
I
it
think
out
it's
of
a
them?
little bit bigger
Yes. If I have to.
Well, that's
Yes.
That's
Beat it out.
than at this point. I'm just curious, why all the effort?
Hey, pirates weren't nice
Yeah.
either.
That's right. They weren't.
So,
Well, I don't know. I guess at this point, I'm more concerned about the tainted ley line than I am treasure.
That's true.
Ooh, no.
That's
I
a
want
bigger.
treasure.
You're a dragon. Of course you do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we could back pocket the treasure for now. The treasure
Gladly.
idea.
Oh, no.
You need bigger
Um,
pockets.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there are valuable information we uncovered while coming on this quest, like finding out about the ley lines, and this
So
place was masked
What
for
were the
some
zombies
reason.
protecting then? They're protecting the treasure.
They're protecting something. I'm not entirely convinced it's treasure anymore.
Maybe they were protecting the treasure.
I
Maybe.
mean, you might not have family, but I do.
Yeah, but I thought I could summon zombies just to watch over some graves.
I don't think it was the graves. I think it was the house was the important thing.
The house would have
But
been.
the house is
They have
dilapidated.
spells that perfectly preserved the dock and boat. If the house was important, they could have preserved it the same way.
This is true.
Maybe the treasure's in the dock.
We looked around. I don't know.
You didn't see a treasure in a boathouse. The boathouse did look like it had been used
Yeah.
semi recently. You're not sure.
Yeah, and then there were the tools out there that were.
You guys were out there?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we were just hanging
Yeah.
out. We've actually been preserving the north, south,
See,
east, and west.
that makes sense.
navigation.
You know, like they were upkeeping it the entire time. That's
Right, that's what I'm saying though. If the house was important in any way, they had the same spells they could have used to preserve the dock and the boathouse that they could have used to preserve the house and keep it from getting into this shape or continuing to do so. So it's just weird to me that
But the house, like, I assumed that the one on the house was an old spell That's at least for me.
Gotcha.
You know, old
Maybe it was
spell.
Maybe it
placed
was
a long
already
time
in
ago to
disrepair
protect the
before.
family.
You know,
If invaders happened or something
yeah.
like that.
I mean, let's face it, little feats. They're
Yeah.
you know.
He
they're
had
not
treasure
exactly-
here at some point, for sure.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
he
it's
wanted to
found.
protect it.
Yeah, maybe the
And
And
sequel's like
also,
taking
probably
so long,
actually
so-
treasure.
I said maybe the treasure was his.
Well, he had
family.
kids. You know, the
Can't
treasure
accept
probably
that.
is like
I
with
will
them.
not
They
accept
have one of the high rises in downtown. I mean,
Yeah. Maybe.
We think
Maybe.
I would like to do another sweep of important things that look important.
you look around at the house. The house is kind of dilapidated.
Maybe like
you're
a
saying.
overflight, just
Yeah, you remember there's several outbuildings. There was the blacksmith.
Something else.
There's one of the buildings looks like maybe a smokehouse. There's of course the kitchen.
Barbecue recipe.
You're thinking what was maybe a wash house.
That'd be
Sweet
worth
baby
a
red.
A
fortune.
couple other little shacks that have kind of fallen into. You're not sure what they were for because they've kind of fallen apart. Other than that, there's kind of the overgrown sugarcane field, and then there's the graveyard, and that's about it. Well, the
Sugarcane
dock and the
field.
boathouse. That's it.
once you go dig up the sugar cane field, I'm sure
As
that's
you're-
where it is.
As you're flying over, you're taking a look at all these random buildings. You notice that they've somehow kind of sort of form an X. Go to the side.
Oh, I go!
They actually don't. They form a very long line with the mansion at the middle, which is kind of typical. Yeah.
I guess we just check on Thomas Lafitte. Maybe it is like National Treasure where we gotta find this dude and his
Maybe
kin.
this was the clue that leads us to the next clue. But we also do got to deal with the ley line thing.
Oh, yeah.
I'll deal with the ley line.
It's probably important.
Yeah, that might be important.
I mean, I'm interested enough to try to find out what's up,
I mean, we
but
can-
I don't know exactly what I can
Yeah.
do to help.
Yeah.
So that is,
About the ley line.
Library.
yeah, that's.
I
You
got
got that scholarship going for you.
I got claws.
So it's got claws going for you.
I am not attacking the ley line though.
Well,
No, you couldn't do it. Either. So,
So,
Play a song.
do we want to set up a different ward that keeps people away from here?
They've already
Not
got
nearly as strong.
They've
Didn't
already
I
got it up.
dismantle that? Did we
you
dismantle-
No.
counterspelled it.
Yeah.
That's what we've been talking about. The whole north, south, east, and west thing is to keep people out.
Right.
the anti-navigation.
Or you may have countered it temporarily, maybe not pretty permanently down.
Okay.
Yeah. You're not sure.
Well, as long
Now you're
as
talking
that,
about the navigation.
if you think the navigational
Okay,
ward will
that's-
come back, that'll keep people from coming here. We know how to get
I think
here now
that's
if we
good. I don't
need
want
to,
people
but
Okay.
coming here.
we have a way of getting back here ourselves if we need to.
Yeah,
yeah, cut and run. I mean,
No, I mean like
Just
without
is-
having to do the whole dispel the thing again. Is there something we could put here to give us access?
You're not sure you
I
could do
don't
something
know.
like
I
that.
guess
I
could
do
you like
anything
put like
like
an
that.
object that's like a stronger magic find thing than it, like an anchor that has a stronger.
Well, you could do
pull
something like that.
you
You could
specifically
probably do a
done.
minor spell that would allow you to blink to something that's here, and you could definitely always find it. Yeah, it could even be something as simple as like the dock. You could take a piece of the dock with you, and that would allow you to always come back to the dock. That's thaumaturgy right there. You
Okay.
know,
why are
sympathetic.
you always taking pieces of stuff? Just
That's
curious.
That's how it
Does that
works.
have to
Take a
use
piece of that
the-
plate.
the
piece of that little
cemetery.
thing.
You definitely
I
don't.
know.
You definitely, as a magical
Bugs like-
practitioner, you definitely don't want anybody
Looking at
getting
that.
like your blood, hair, fingernails, because then
Yes.
they can send spells right down that stuff to you. So you, that's any of you don't want that. Or magic practitioners will get you
And old
bad.
Chicky Babe was in my damn warehouse.
Yeah. Your sister. So he's talking about. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the plan?
Guess
I
we
guess
take this
you
and
make
bring
the
it in
anchor
a
and then we head out.
Yeah.
I do. So Ron's he's been drinking a little bit.
A little.
I want to pose as a sea monster in the water.
He's not that drunk. He's
Ah,
not that drunk.
I want to give him like a cool sea monster story.
No,
or
he's
something.
not that drunk.
Alright.
I'll give him a jar we got from the basement.
All right. So you grab something, maybe a piece from the house, and cast a pretty quick little thaumaturgy spell. You're probably gonna need to put like 5 points of power into it. You're just kind of anchoring it. So
Okay.
make me a discipline check as long as you. What'd you get?
4.
Ooh, okay. You take 1 point of stress. Okay, but don't worry about it. The spell goes off, but it does take a little more drain on you than you realized. You're able to kind of take one of the pieces from the front porch, do a little spell to it, and then as you carry that with you, it'll always direct you back to the front porch of the house.
Okay.
You head back to the boat.
I guess
Yeah.
As you start heading back towards the boat, you notice that mist
No.
seems to have rolled in off of Pontchartrain, and Captain Ron's kind of standing on deck, and he looks a little nervous, and he goes, "You see that mist out there?
Mm-hmm.
We don't get mist like this on Pontchartrain."
Oh, I have shapeshifted back to human form.
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
Okay. I just-
He's like, "This is
wings.
weird.
What?
This is weird."
Whole day has been very weird.
He says, we get mist on the top of the, but this is like fog, like, you see on movies and, in England and shit. This is weird.
Yeah.
We get low-lying mist, but yeah. He looks a little spooked. Never seen anything like it before.
Do you think we
Just-
should
just-
leave? I mean,
Is the wind blowing?
We're gonna
or
spend the
is-
Is
night
it
in the
coming
haunted
from
mansion?
a certain direction, or is it like converging?
Well, that's the thing. You guys look out, and you can kind of see the lights of New Orleans in the distance, but they're really hard to see. And it's weird. It's almost like you see, there's a red light blinking on top of this thing, and it goes out. And then all of a sudden, it seems like the same red light's over here in a different place.
The shield's back up.
And you're like, what is going on
Dang.
here?
Are
It's a
we
little
inside the
odd.
shield?
Huh?
Are we inside the shield?
Well, the shield doesn't
Yeah.
seem to be back up again yet.
Yeah.
There's something else going on here. It's kind of like, what's going on here?
Oh no, that's not good. Is the island moving? Are we on the back of a giant sea creature?
No.
Okay.
Oh, that'd be so cool. That is the treasure. I'll take it.
Ah!
I stored it in my warehouse underneath
It
the
would
comic
have its
boxes.
own treasure. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Something weird's going on, but I guess we should probably try to get back to
civilization.
Yeah.
the
probably
city
good.
before we
A
lose
nice,
it.
comfy bed.
All right, so Captain Ron says, "All right, well, I'll get the boat started and we'll head on out." So he, pulls, boat's running. He goes, "All right, okay." He checks his GPS. He's like, "I can't see real well. I'm just gonna have to go by the GPS, but that's okay. It's a good GPS. It's a more modern one." He kind of steers on out.
I'll go up to
Remembering
the front and look
literally
for, like, sharp
earlier
rocks
today.
or anything like
You
that.
don't.
like
Well, there's
that.
not a whole lot of rocks out here. I mean, Pontchartrain's about 14, 15 feet at the deepest, but
Well, there's this mystical fog going on. I didn't want nothing
Yeah.
to hit the
Yeah.
boat or something.
so he's kind of like,
rocks
let me know if you
and
see
You
anything.
never know.
And he the boat kind of pulls away from the dock. You cast off the lines and pull away from the dock. And he's kind of slowly moving forward, and the island falls behind you through the fog pretty quickly. And he's like, "Everything okay up there?"
Is everything okay?
Yeah, it looks pretty quiet. It's dark. It's
Everything's
misty.
good.
It's a little
Can we
spooky.
still see the lights from the city?
Yeah, a little. It is, again, but it's pretty hard to see. And you kind of walk. Where are the rest of you guys, by the way?
I'm out here outside looking, making sure.
Okay, okay, looking around. Where's
I guess I would have been in
Darwin?
the
I would say
cabin
back.
with Captain
Back?
Ron.
I'm just in the back looking
Okay.
outside.
Miranda?
Maybe in the cabin with Captain Ron.
Okay. You kind of. He's like, "Man, this is really hard to see. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen." He's kind of mumbling about the whole thing. He's kind of spooked about it. And then all of a sudden you hear, and the boat goes, "What the hell was that?" And the whole boat lurches, right?
Dragging rocks.
Well, no. He says, "What was that?" And you're kind of looking around. There's no rocks or anything like that. And then the boat goes and stops. And he goes, "When the boat stopped, I got the motor." And he just... And the boat's not moving. And he goes, "What the hell's going on here? I don't understand what's going to do. The boat should be going. We're not grounded or anything." And he just, a depth finder says, "We got another 15 feet below us. What's going on here?" And he's really kind of freaking out. And so he says, "Look, I'm just going to kill the engine. I want to burn them up." And the weird thing about it is the boat is, normally when you cut the engine, the boat would be kind of drifting with the water and stuff like that. Jody, you with us?
Yep.
And then,
I am. I was thinking about the boat.
and so then it kind of, it's not drifting with it is what the problem is. It's just like it's still. And he kind of steps out on deck and he looks out, and the water is absolutely still. There's no waves, there's no ripples, no nothing. It's like glass.
Oh no.
And you're kind of looking around.
See, we fixed it. It's nice and calm now.
Who's on the front of the boat? Okay, you guys are on the front of the boat.
I'm on the back.
I'm on the back.
You see what looks like a light coming towards you. It's maybe a white light. It's moving towards the front of the boat.
White light.
White light.
I
It's not real bright.
pick on my buccaneer boots and I get ready for battle.
And it's really close to the water. And you, as it gets closer and closer, you see that maybe it looks like a raft or something.
Mm-hmm.
And there's these, you can see what looks like motion from either side of the raft as it comes closer and closer. And as it gets even more closer, you can see that there's two men on either side of the raft who have these long poles that are doing like this. And they're literally poling the raft along. And in the middle of the raft is a gentleman who looks like this. Okay. Yeah. And he's standing there in the middle of the raft looking very regal. And as he rolls up to the boat on this raft, and he says, "You are in the presence of Agwe. You may kneel now."
I'm looking for Agwe.
And we're going to end right there.